Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Pierce, alongside of my good pal Dylan. And guess what time of year it is? That's right. It's roster management purposes time of year. My good friend, our good friend Connor Boomer put to the chat. Well, it's been fun because Artemi Panarin is not playing for the Rangers tonight because of roster reasons. And to which I replied with, at least it's expected. Try having him traded for Brandon Saad out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know, it'd always be worse.
Yeah. So we do have a lot to talk about. Obviously talk about the Blackhawks. What talk about the Blackhawks on this show? Um, we haven't done just a regular podcast since like I think it's been a couple weeks now. We had the interview with Scott Powers. As always, check that out because Scott Powers is always in tune with the Blackhawks and always very informative. But I have to ask you, how was it going to that game against the Jets, and how was it seeing Jonathan Taves back in Chicago?
It was kind of crazy. I wasn't there for Kane's return, but I know this was a lot
Wasn't your
different than
parents there for that?
yeah, they were there for that game. When he got the overtime winner, and I know the crowd was pretty electric then, but I mean, it sounded like a playoff atmosphere for like the whole game basically. Especially after the middle part of the first, like basically after the Taves ovation, the crowd was very much into it the whole game, and it's the guy, like, I think I went to the game with Ben, and he and I were just talking about it. Like, it's the guy who captained the team out of the dark ages, basically, of Chicago hockey. And they were in those dark ages with bits of like Minnesota Wild esque success, for 25 years or something. But true, like, three Stanley Cups, the gold medals, like, he was the youngest captain in the league at one point. I think it was a very warranted reaction, and you just look at a lot of people in the crowd that night. It was a very Chicago celebrity heavy crowd, and it was a well deserved ovation. And the Jets players were egging him on to keep taking on the lap. So I think both teams just knew how much this meant to him, and on top of that, like, the guy was out of the game for 2.5 years. I mean, he wasn't playing hockey for 2.5 years. It's a miracle he's even like a third of a point a game this year. But it was a cool moment. I was just like, please win the game, because I'm so sick of losing these
Yeah,
games. And they won two
yeah.
nothing, which was good. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know. Like, the moment was one of those that you're gonna remember for a while. It just kept going. It just kept going. Like, we started like three chants in our section. It was great.
I also have to ask, or unless it's still too early, what were your thoughts on the Bears season?
I mean, it was a great season. Loss still sucks. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't. I know they had like two
Bro, I'm
concussions
still
going
haunted
into the
by the
next
Jays
week.
loss. I get
That's a
it.
little different. You should be haunted
Yeah,
by that.
yeah.
Um, I'm not nearly as optimistic as everyone else. Um, I just don't think you can with a sport like football. Even if you have the coach and the quarterback, there's so much shit that needs to go right. Um, and like, the statistics back up, the Bears should be back. Like, yeah, they'll regress to the mean with the turnovers, but the offense is going to probably complete more than 60% of its throws. Like, it's all going to even out at the end of the day, but I don't know, man. Like, this is a very winnable season. You look at the Super Bowl. I like, if the Seahawks don't beat the Patriots, I'd genuinely be shocked. But like, the AFC after Bo Nix went down was very attainable. Um, they I thought the Rams were going to handle them, and they actually kind of neutered Matthew Stafford for the entire game. I think that's what makes it worse. They had the ball like 15 yards away from a field goal to win in overtime. Like, all they needed was a field goal. Um, Still sucks. I don't really want to think about it. It's we see teams say, "Oh, we'll be back, we'll be back." No, they're not. So I've seen flash in the pan Bears teams every year, like, all my life. I'm not gonna fall into the false or like the false hope. Like, I I have like ticks on my clock for when this is gonna hit the point where expectations are gonna meet, like, they're just not going to they're not going to meet expectations for a lot of people. And it's going to be the second that Caleb leads MVP voting in the offseason because they've done this now with 3 quarterbacks in the third year. They're going to do it again. This is the exact same shit they did with Mitch, like his third year. They were like, oh, he's going to win MVP. The defense is so good, this, and that. And they come out, lay a fucking egg night 1, and they go 8-8 on the season, and they never find that spark again. I have more faith in this coaching staff, and to give it faith, looks like we're going to retain a lot of that coaching staff outside of Bieniemy, which is good, who is our running backs coach. But it sounds like they might get the guy that was in Miami for that position, so that'd be good. But they might not lose Al Harris. That'd be ideal. I think they're well. It sucks because their left tackle basically blew his knee out, like worse than an ACL in terms of recovery. So they need a left tackle. They need at least 2 defensive linemen. They need a linebacker, and they're going to need at least 1 safety. I hope they bring back. They're not going to be able to bring back both safeties, so I'd like Byard back. They're going to have a first-place schedule next year. I really don't give a shit about that. You can't look at a schedule 9 months in advance. The Bears had the second toughest schedule this year, and if you look back on it, there were a lot of teams that kind of underperformed, and the teams that they thought were going to underperform played well. It's the NFL. Half the teams that made the playoffs the year before will not make it the next year. So I think that's where my brain is at right now. But with what Ben Johnson did with the talent that was given to him to get 11 wins, I would hope there's growth next year. I'm kind of hoping Ian Cunningham gets his GM job in Atlanta because then the Bears get 2 extra third-round picks. That'd be huge, but still sucks. They got a lot of pieces in place, though. This offense is going to be so much fun for the next couple of years because if I'm being 100% honest, besides left tackle, and even then, I think their stopgap's fine. I don't think they need a piece on offense. I think it's strictly on defense. So, and that's where my concern comes because I don't think Ryan Poles has been the best at analyzing defensive talent in his 5 years as GM or 4 years, however long it's been. So we'll see how that goes. For people who fits Dennis Allen's needs, and we'll ride it again next year. Yeah, I had more to say about that than the Taves game because that's still fresh on the mind. The Taves game was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I've kind of mentally been over Taves and Kane for about 3 years now.
Yeah, we both have. There's just as a casual fan of football, I did catch a bit of that game, the Bears game. It feels like this year that a team has to win because a team has to win and not because a team is great. The Seahawks got to win the Super Bowl, right? You were saying that they got to be the favorites to win.
Yeah, I was a firm believer that once the Bears got eliminated, honestly, going into the Bears game, it was going to be one of those 3 teams representing the Super Bowl and probably winning, just because the Rams and the Seahawks were the 2 best teams all year, and the Bears had a lot of double magic this year. It's just the reality of the situation. At some point, it's not luck. At some point, you create your own luck. I'm a firm believer in that. So, I guess that's the biggest difference. But the Super Bowl is one of those things where, at least in football, I feel like I guess baseball you can kind of do this too. But halfway through the year, who's probably going to win. Who's probably going to win. You can look at their schedule. You can look at their week by week, and you can just tell that's a Super Bowl team. Most of the time, Super Bowl teams beat the piss out of the competition worse than them, and 9 times out of 10 take whoever they're playing that's competitive down to the wire. And that's all Seattle did this year. Seattle beat the piss out of everyone they played. And then when they played a good team like the Rams, they just go blow for blow with them. And that's credit to Mike McDonald, second-year head coach. I think it's hilarious. The 2 coaches in the Super Bowl both interviewed for the Falcons job. And it was not one of those 2, so I think that's hysterical. And credit to Mike Vrabel taking the Patriots to the Super Bowl year 1. Still super impressive. He completely revamped that defense. Drake May is an MVP candidate. I just think, God, that Seahawks defense is just like it was a decade ago, if not faster. And that's the crazy part. They're just so fucking loaded on defense. And I'll be honest, if Drake May, I know it was snowing like crazy last week, but if Drake May has a performance like that in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks are going to eat him for lunch. that defense they will not give you an inch to breathe. And I think the 49ers game showed that best. They just swallowed Brock Purdy up for 60 minutes. And if the Patriots O-line, which I would say is their weakness, doesn't hold up, it could be a long game for Drake May in the Super Bowl. And that's why I say the Seahawks have to win, because I just think the matchup-wise, this is exactly what they wanted. Either way, even if it's the Broncos or the Patriots, like that's the guy you want in the Super Bowl because your defense can win that game for you. And Sam Darnold's been lights out. He's the best story in football, and since at least Nick Foles, like he's the first quarterback ever to play for 5 different teams and make it start a Super Bowl game. Isn't that crazy? He's also the first quarterback.
Wasn't he drafted by the Jets originally?
Yeah. So first quarterback to start who has ever played for the Jets in the Super Bowl. Ever. Ever. So he's got that going for him. He's the first of the 2018 class to make 2 Super Bowls. This one he'll be starting because he made the one with the Niners 2 years ago as a backup. But that's a class that includes Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Made it to a Super Bowl for all of them. And Jackson Smith-Njigba looks like the best receiver in football, not named Jamar Chase. They're a special team, man. They're a special team. They got a rookie from South Carolina who I've had the privilege of watching since like 2020. I've known he's
Gamecocks?
A demon. Yeah, Nicky Manwari probably wins. If I had a vote, he'd be Defensive Rookie of the Year. But I don't have a vote, so it'll probably go to like a linebacker or something, knowing my luck. But they're a special team, man. They're a special team. I complained all year that they had a 2 running back set, and the guy that I didn't like a lot blew his knee out. And now their run game's incredible because they're using the one running back that's explosive. So kind of sucks that that's the reality of how it became that way. But now their run game's incredible. So I mean, like I said, if the Bears won last week, they probably would have lost to the Seahawks anyway. But I said the same thing about the Rams, and they took them down to the wire. So that's where that comes in. But the Seahawks, they should win the Super Bowl, like no doubt in my mind. If the Patriots win, it's because Drake May is just dicing that defense up. And credit to Drake May, he's done that with most people he's played this year. But I'll just keep it a buck. It might be one of the weirdest Super Bowl runs I've seen. Like they played 3 top 5 defenses and made it to a Super Bowl this is the Patriots speaking, which is impressive. Like that's never been done before. But then you look at the quarterback play that was at display, and it's like, okay, Justin Herbert, 2.2 seconds after he snapped the ball, was getting sacked every play. And C.J. Stroud had 5 turnovers. And if I'm being honest, he only needed like 3 turnovers to win the game in the divisional round. So, like, there's just part of me. And then they played a backup in the conference championship with Jarrett Stidham. So I got a lot more faith in the Seahawks. They kind of had to go through the gauntlet and beat 2 of their division rivals 3 times to get here, which is pretty awesome considering both those teams have 12 wins. So, I think the Seahawks pedigree speaks for itself right now. They're a really well coached football team. Except for the part where Mike McDonald said he only sees his son 30 minutes a week because of the season. That wasn't a flex, bud. Like you could see your kid more than someone in solitary confinement sees their lawyer. Like I think that's little warranted, but yeah. All right, that's enough football for me.
You know what? I just want to say one more thing. It's about time for Boston sports fan. It's only been 3-4 years since they last won a championship.
Man, they've only had 5 years in the mud. This is so crazy.
You know what? Good for them.
Fucking rotten fan base.
I make that joke
and then
before.
Boston's in a wild card spot for hockey, and the Celtics are second in the East. Oh no, they're so bad. But guys, the Red Sox are an 85-win team, so we have it so bad. So bad. Guys, the Patriots had a 3-win team one time. You know how bad that was? Fuck off. Like, I hope they get beat. I hope this is like how the Patriots were pre and post Brady, which is when they make a Super Bowl, they just get fucking pounced. Because that's what's happened every Super Bowl pre-Brady. They just get fucking killed. So, I'm hoping for that.
I make that joke before I bring up the fact that, like, basically the past 15 years, it's been, Patriots, and then it was Chiefs, and then there's, like, one Bengals appearance in there for the AFC, right?
We don't talk about 2009 or whatever for the Nickelodeon character of the year with Avatar or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Avatar winning one year, and it's just like
we don't talk about 2009.
And you brought up a point earlier to transition it back to the Hawks is you never know when your favorite team is going to get back to at least play for a championship. I think that you think that with the Bears. I think I'm like going back and forth with that between with the Blue Jays. With the Blackhawks, there was no doubt. Even when they lost that game 7 to Kings, again, just something about losing to LA in a winner take all game in extra
In
time.
overtime.
Yeah.
At home.
And
Fuck.
yeah. Yeah. It knows no bounds. It's across sports for our different sports teams. But yeah, just truly well, every opportunity we get to talk about the 2010s Blackhawks. We will just a team, even with a devastating loss like that against LA, where it's down to the wire. The two best teams in the NHL. They were back. They came back next year and won, and still have won a playoff series more recently than the LA Kings. So, anyways, let's get to the Blackhawks because alongside of that game, there's been a few games that have been my favorite games of the season so far. We never got to talk about the game where they beat Nashville in the second back of the half to half, where half the team had the plague, and you had to call up your goalie from the AHL and have him play back to back games. Pitched his first, not only got his first shutout, but his first win. And this happened like I think a couple days after Laurent Brossoit got traded. Just figures you trade your third string goalie and you're thinking, oh, what will that shouldn't be a problem. And then yeah, like 2-3 days later, everyone is just sick and you have to call up Comesso. And they come into Nashville, beat the Predators. We saw a brief glimpse of Bellardus and also them just kicking the show, the Blues. I think they lost one game to the Blues, which is where Bedard got hurt, and I think they lost 2-1, but the other games just absolute shit kickings. And yeah, well, that loss against Minnesota last night was rough. I mean, overall in the month of January, I've liked how they've played. But obviously there's still improvements to go with this team.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Last night's performance was.
Oh, there's no excuse.
I don't
for
care
that.
what they've done the last 3 weeks. I'm looking at what you've done for me lately, and guys, you've beaten the Wild one time since COVID. Like, I need to put that into perspective. The last time they beat the Wild, there was a 1 in the year column. Like a 2019 in the year column. Get the
A 1 in the
fuck
third
out of
column.
here.
Yeah.
You're up 3-0, 3-1 in the third. You get 5 power plays, one with 5 minutes left in regulation, and then one in overtime. And you can't cash because apparently you forgot how to pass the puck on the power play now. I'm
shoot, or really do anything.
I'm just dumbfounded. And it sucks because it really takes away from, I think, a really good effort in Tampa and a really good effort in Carolina. And like I said, that effort in Winnipeg. But holy shit, it does not matter when you put up a game like that. You can't blow a 3-0 lead on the road. They got to find a way to win that game. You got to find a way to win that fucking game. And it's so dumb too, because you could see the 2 turning points in that game. There's the Trennan, like off the rush rip where Knights just looks lost. Like it's just a bad one let up by Knight, but it's a 2-on-1. I'm not going to fucking blame him. And then the Hawks have like 4 chances when Walsh doesn't have a stick and can't bury it. Because they just want to find the perfect pass. No one's just throwing that fucker on net and just letting the rebound get picked up. And then the power play, they can't win the opening face-off. And if they do, they're way too predictable. Like, there was a time when they weren't this predictable on the power play. And now it's just back to, all right, we'll just give it to Bedard and he'll get double-teamed and, squabble the puck at the point. And we'll chase for the first 45 seconds and then get a good chance with Unit 2. Like, it's just, they haven't scored a power play goal in 8 games. You went 0 for 5
against 22.
Yeah, and that's the main reason you lost that fucking game last night.
Single-handedly.
Dude, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't care how bad the team is. I don't care what the expectations are. I don't care what type of development they've had this year. And I've been a firm believer that they have taken steps. This is something they have to fucking figure out, and they haven't figured it out in the last 3 fucking coaches. So you gotta find a way to hang on to that game. And they did this to the Wild earlier this year too. They blew a 3-1 lead after the goal got called back from Bertuzzi or some shit at home.
That really seems to be That really seems to be a thing for them where they get a goal taken back, which should put the game out of reach. Like, and then they just like it's not just Minnesota. Like they've done that. I can recall them doing
It's a
that against
mental thing,
Nashville,
man.
where yeah, like they get that goal taken back, and then they just cannot come back from that. And it's 100% mental thing.
No, it's a mentally like this is what years of losing does to a team. They're mentally fragile when the game gets tight, and that's not something you want with a team that needs to develop. Like as much shit as I give San Jose all the time, at least they're figuring out when it gets tight, you have to play a certain style of hockey. The Hawks haven't figured that out yet, and I thought they were at the beginning of the year because every game was close in the third, so they were learning how to play that tight game. But it's unacceptable blowing a 2-goal lead late in the third. Like it's just unacceptable. And you look at the chances they got. I think the Wild had 1 power play to their 5. And some of those calls were egregious. Like, dude, if I was a Wild fan that game, there's no wonder the crowd was so loud. I would have been losing my shit in the stands with what the refs were doing to basically give the Hawks a chance to win this fucking game. And you couldn't do it. And that's kind of the summary of this whole season because I feel like you're about 5 of those games away from being in a wild card spot. And that's a lot of games, I'm aware. But a lot of those games have ended exactly how that one did, which is in a shootout loss off of some bullshit late in the game. Like, I think of both Vegas games, for starters. Like, you got to find a way to win these games. Also, you got to start practicing the shootout in practice. I don't know why we're not. You've been in 3 shootouts in a row now, and I feel like we get past shooter 2 and we're pissing ourselves outside of Crevier. Like,
I was going to say, put Crevier first, man.
Dude. I liked Nazar and Bedard together last night. I thought Bedard looked pretty good, but then he muffs the shootout, and that's all everyone's going to care about. And it's just like he's got 1 goal in his 9 games. He looks like the same way he did in year 2, where he's just being a perimeter player again. I feel like last night he wasn't though, so that was a nice sight.
He got 8 shots. Like he's
but that's like what you want out of him. And he was finding passing lanes with Nazar. They clearly have a chemistry. It's just like he was destroying worlds before Braden Shed took his shoulder out. And that's why, like, I don't care if it's a freak accident. Like, you got to stand up for your player. You just have to. Because that just fucked his whole season up. And it's not a health thing. It's always a mental thing. Mentally, he is afraid to get hit right now. Like, he threw a hit with his shoulder last game. That's good. We're 9 games into him returning from injury. Like, dude, he's half point a game since coming back. If you're not healthy, don't fucking come back. And I mean that the nicest way possible. Because right now, it doesn't fucking matter. Season's in the fucking toilet. It's been in the toilet since he got hurt the first time. There was a little like glimmer of false hope, but like his game is not where it was before he got hurt. And I don't care if they beat the Blues by whatever that score was when they played them again. The everlasting result of that game will stick with you for the whole year, which is your star player has now lost a step in his game for the season. And I think it's just unacceptable. And it speaks volumes as to how this team's run. It speaks volumes to how this team looks at themselves. And I think that speaks volumes to how they play on the ice, because you saw it last night. They don't play for each other. They did it for a little bit. They stopped doing that. Plain and simple. Like, yeah, they'll get in a little like post-game scrums and shit, or post like whistle scrums. Like, I don't care, dude. Like, you could tell when winning teams on the ice want to play for each other. The Wild want to fucking play for each other. They were clawing tooth and nail to get back in that game last night. And I'll be honest, they lack a lot of depth in that bottom 6, and they were skating laps around you. Dude, it's fucking bad. It's fucking bad. And the GM is complacent, so I'm just comfortable with seeing this for another 2 or 3 years. Because, like, as much as I'm excited to see the kids, if your pipe dream plan is to have 2 21-year-olds fix all your problems, oh, buddy, you're in for a rude awakening. Holy shit, you're in for a rude awakening. This is not the 2016 Leafs. If it is, I'll eat my fucking words and they make the playoffs next year. Get excited. But, dude, that's not a foolproof strategy. It's just not. And the moves are there. The opportunities are there. You're just not taking them because you want to see your guys. And that's fine. But guess what? All 30 of those forwards that you drafted can't ice on both your rosters. So you're going to have to start making some fucking decisions here before they start losing value. And I hate that I have to be this guy right now because I think they played well. But, like, you lose games like that, it just shows how far you are. And you're so far right now. And it's crazy because you're probably like learning how to score in the shootout away from being in a wild card spot. That's the reality.
Or scoring in overtime, man.
That's how tight the fucking league is right now, though. That's why I'm so fucking hard on them. Because you're taking this huge step. But newsflash, a lot of other teams have taken that huge step, and a lot of teams have taken a step back, which has led to this being Gary Bettman's wet dream of parity.
Oh, so, that's a big,
yeah. Like you're gonna be in the hunt till mid March, but I don't care. I just want to see winning habits. I want to see winning strategies. I want to see them. Like, I'll go back to the Winnipeg game. I get it. Winnipeg is at the bottom of the league. They're not the best. They're a slower team. Dude, they dominated that third period. They didn't let them get an inch of momentum in that game. I think they had one penalty in the third. They just killed it off like it's nothing. This does not include the penalty kill. This whole rant I've said. Penalty kill has been the best in the NHL. League. Phenomenal. Best since like 2013 Blackhawks. That's how long I could think of. Or like 2015.
85.5%, a full percentage point ahead of the Lightning.
Yeah, really good. Just fucking nasty. So this doesn't pertain to them. It pertains to everything else on the ice. And Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight's been good. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
And Soderblom. Like the goalies have always been good. The goalies are the only reason they're winning games right now. Which is great, but also like you need to start winning games because of your product on the ice, not because your goalie's standing on his fucking noggin, which is usually the case. So, I know they're like 3 years away. I know there's a lot of pieces left to go, but like there are signs that they are on the cusp, and this is the shit you have to fix to take that next step because they've taken the step out of the basement. They've already taken that step.
They are out of the bottom 5 as of recording this, like.
And that's a step. Like they were in the bottom 2 in their own category for 3 years. Like, let's just be honest. That's what it was. So this is a step. This is how you
They're on pace for 32 wins. Like that's
which is
the part.
Good by our standards. Like that's 10 more wins than last year, or like 7 more wins than last year.
7, like dude. All they need is 5 more wins to get more wins than last year. Like,
yeah,
I think anyone saying this like anyone saying this team is like has not taken a step, I think you're just objectively wrong. But obviously there is still a long way to go, and there's still a lot of improvements, and that includes everything. That includes the players, that includes the coaching staff, and that includes the general manager. To go back to the Minnesota game, I don't know if you had any more points to add or that, or if I can step in, but
one last point about the Minnesota game. Matt Grzelcyk had piss going down his leg all game. That was the worst.
Yeah, that was a rough game for him.
That was bad. Yeah. Like, and also, can we give Wyatt Kaiser a look on the power play? Those are the only 2 things I'll say after that.
Yeah, Wyatt Kaiser has been awesome as well.
Such a good skater.
Like, maybe this sounds bad, but I'm more angry at the fact that they couldn't score on the power plays than I am that they blew a 3-0 lead. Like, obviously, they had a 3-0 lead halfway through regulation. You should close out those games like 100 times out of hundreds. And yeah, you can blow leads in the NHL, but when you want to be the best of the best, go back to the early 2010s Chicago Blackhawks when they had a lead after the second period. Even if it was only a 1-goal lead, it was over. You're not getting anything. And if you push it to overtime, you were just delaying the inevitable. And I'm pretty sure that's been the same with the Florida Panthers on their back-to-back cups. When they have a lead after the second, it is over, even if it's only a 1-goal lead. I think same with the Tampa Bay Lightning when they won their back-to-back Stanley Cups. But you blow a 3-0 lead. The Florida Panthers also blew a 3-0 lead to the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. Like, it happens time to time. The best of the teams can do it. When you're facing good competition, it's going to happen. But like we said earlier, you were handed all these power plays on a silver platter, which you should have not been at all. And it's not even a matter of making the power play good. It was just scoring on one of those power plays. When you had a power play with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game and you couldn't get that goal to give yourself a 2-goal cushion instead of having the game tied, a 4-on-3 in overtime. Like, it's the hockey equivalent of having the bases loaded with no outs. All you have to do is get a sack fly. Like, that's it. That's the bare minimum, and you couldn't even do that. Yeah, there's a lot of promise, but Again, there's a long way to go. I think the Olympic break is going to be so beneficial for this team because clearly Bedard is not 100%. Neither is Frank Nazar, and those are supposed to be the two main guys driving the bus right now. Like, I think Bertuzzi, Tabo Teravainen, all those guys are perfectly fine complementary pieces, but they're not play drivers, and that's been the thing with the Blackhawks all along. They do not have play drivers. They've been relying mainly on their goaltending and good shoot like a PDO bender. Because you look at the advanced stats under the hood, it's not great. They're still at the bottom of the barrel, but also I'm a believer of you gotta fake it until you make it. You just gotta grind out ways to get wins, which they have. And another point you said earlier, like my mentality has always been I think the best way to beat a team is beat them on the scoreboard with that St. Louis game. But yeah, I was disappointed they didn't at least try to make Braden Shen's night a living hell. I just hated we talked to Braden Shen. We knew it was an accident. I don't care. This is prison rules NHL right now. Do you think the Florida Panthers are going to do that? Do you think Paul Maurice is just going to sit there and be like, oh no, we're fine. Braden Hagel definitely did not do that on purpose. Like he did it accidentally. No, we got to get rid of that mentality. And I'm glad he didn't get hurt when Oliver Moore was fighting. That was another fun game to watch, the Oliver Moore game, Ollie Walnuts fighting, even though he probably should have. You watched that clip of him going at Nikishin when he knocked down Lars. Even Lars when he's like put his arm in the way. He's like, no, you don't want to do that. And he went in there and fought anyways. So I look at the kids. I see the fight in them, and I love that. I think that's going to translate to if they do get to the playoffs one day. To me, it's been the veterans. We're at the point of the year where you got to trim away the fat, for lack of a better term. Guys are going to get moved at the trade deadline. I think, if what Frank Saravalli is saying is what is true, you can get a second and a prospect for Jason Dickinson. Ship him out of here. We're going to get into the trades later, but we've already seen trades happening before the Olympic breaks. We see guys like Artemi Panarin sitting out. You need to start doing that. Do Connor Murphy a solid and get him to a playoff team. The only playoff hockey he's got to play in his career is bubble hockey. Let him go play somewhere else. Ilya Mikheyev, yeah, I think they could resign him for 2 years, but yeah, I think they need that Olympic break. You need Bedard and Nazar to get going again, and yeah, as much as fun as it's going to be seeing. We might even see Frundell by the end of the season. We're going to see Cancerov.
Sounds like we're definitely in Chicago. Going to see Frundell.
Mm-hmm. But we're seeing Kevin Korchinski's. I don't know if you can get anything for him right now, and that's the thing. But you need to find you need to start training these guys because they're just going to start losing their values. And obviously, you don't want to trade them away early because that's bitten this franchise in the ass. But this is what I've said so many times. This is what the picks are for. This is what the money is for. Well, maybe not so much the money, but the picks, definitely. This is why you get all that quantity. Yeah, you might trade away some guys that turn out to be good somewhere else, but you got to start getting some young players in this team because it's just Bedard and Nazar cannot do it on their own.
Yeah, it's just what it is. And, I think one of the things I talked to Ben about the most is this team is definitely faster. They play so much faster. They play they're starting to play with skill. They're being more creative with the puck. They're doing for everything I've said, they're doing a lot of things right. It's just, the next steps that are needed to be had. And I think the guys that help make those steps aren't on this team yet. And I don't know if they're at the maturity level to do it yet either. That's the thing. Yeah, next year they're probably going to have a majority 21 to 25-year-olds on the team, but everyone matures in this league at a different level. So we can't just I'd love to just sit here and be like, yeah, I'm going to pencil in Cancerov and Frundell 60 points a pop. And that's,
you shouldn't.
Makes such a fucking difference on this team.
Mm.
You can't do that though. You just can't. This league is so it's predictable, but it's not at the same time. And, you need your horses to start showing up. I think Boy Bear's probably going to sign on at the end of the year, give him a look. He'll probably be 1C in Rockford next year. They got options. It's just, I'm looking at Tankathon right now. They're at 6 and Florida's picks at 16.
God, please miss the playoffs. I don't even care about the Hawks getting another top 3 pick. Let Florida miss the playoffs. Like, let's get a little crazy.
If you have 2 top 15 picks, I think you're very much in the realm to trade one of those for a player. I
Dude,
don't know
trade
which
trade.
one.
There's names out there.
Dude, Ottawa's
If
turning
like
on Brady Kachuk as we speak. Like, just throw both of them at him. I really don't give a shit. Like, that fixes so many fucking problems with this team that I have. Getting him. He's going to open up the game for Bedard. He's actually going to fucking fight for people when they get hurt. And he's, he's a jackass to play against. And yeah, maybe he gets
good, I
fucking
want him on my
exposed on
team.
defense. Literally, bro. Like, Brady will score fucking 35 to 40 goals a year if he's on Bedard's wing. I promise you. And if he's that attainable, I promise you he'll come to the States. Because he'll definitely go to St. Louis. And St. Louis sucks right now. Like, oh no, you have to drive an extra 2 hours to go see your family. Ooh. The extra $12 million a year you'll get will help. Don't worry. But yeah, there's going to be trades out there this summer, and I think you're in a spot to where you're going to have the capital. Like, I know this is like a Seth Jones thing, kind of. Like, they're going to almost be in the same spot in terms of like, okay, we need to take this step, but it's a different guy at the helm. I think Davidson's a little more level-headed than Bowman was, in the fact that he had no one trading against him and still lost. But yeah, you got to make it. If the trade's out there, you got to make it this summer, especially for a winger. If you want to do it for a defenseman, I don't blame you, but I just think getting a winger, like a legit fucking winger on this team, is a dire need. And unfortunately, with the way they've played, they kind of played themselves out of a top 4 spot, which is kind of sucky. You want to be in the top 4 in this draft. Because I think the next 10 or I think the guy that can get at 16 can be as good as the guy that get at 6. Like, that's just because it's the defensemen that are there are all short offensive defensemen. I just don't think that fits what
they
they're
don't
looking
want
for.
that. No,
Like, there's a 6'3" defenseman from Jokerit that might fit their bill, but that's it. Like, I don't know. I don't care about the draft right now. I just care about that they have positioning to make moves, and I think, although Scott Powers said it's probably going to be another year, which sucks.
I expect it to be that. It does suck because not just even for this team to make better, the feeling of your team making a transaction, whether that is a trade or signing to make them better, it's so nice. When the Blue Jays ever make a trade and they're signing and it's to make their team better, that gets me through the day, sometimes the week. I want the Blackhawks to do that so bad. I want a tweet from Elliot Freeman saying Shai acquires Robertson from Dallas, but we're not going to get that. And I've just resigned myself to that.
Such bullshit. They could so get Jason Robertson too if they wanted to. Oh my God.
They were trying to last year. And
I trade number 6 and number 16 for him. Can Dallas get back? Which situation do I want more? Do I want Dallas to lose in round 1 and get fucking stupid, or do I want Minnesota to lose in round 1 and just see it all?
So they lose Quinn Hughes.
Bill Guerin's face. I kind of want the latter, but also Jason Robertson will leave the Stars if they are out in round 1. So, how about the Wild getting a wild card spot? It's not going to happen. Well, it might actually. I don't know. Utah's been pretty good lately, so. Never know. They're no Buffalo.
But you go back to what you
do you always say? No, what do you always say? Go find your fucking Josh Stone and Michael Kesselring or some shit.
I was gonna say, I've been saying get your JJ Peterka trade. Shit, with the way things are going, go get your Josh Stone, Michael Kesselring trade. And go find your Kirby Dach trade. But the other end of things,
which one?
If Shane Wright is available and you have Florida's pick in the mid-teens, do it. Enough.
I would take him or Lafreniere so fast.
Yeah, that's fast. Another one. Mm-hmm.
And
those teams want to sell.
Timo Meyer. Fuck. So many good guys out there. So many guys. Because I was looking at New Jersey. They're going to have, they just picked up Sipelkov, I think, in that weird trade for Palat. But,
we're going to talk about that later. What the hell are the Islanders doing?
Dude, I don't know. We can kind of I'm cool with them moving off the Blackhawks. We can get into other shit going on in the league right now because I feel like with the Hawks, I will say, I think you're right with Mikheyev. I think he's going to get a 2-year deal. I just think his speed, and he's just the best. Like, I think he's the best penalty killer winger. Like, one of the best. Like, it's him and Boldy. Like, in terms of just being a horse on the penalty kill. But
you forgot about Mitch Marner. No.
yeah, you trade Dickinson, you trade Murphy, you probably trade Grizzlick. I think Grizzlick will want to be on a team, and then Foligno. I feel like it's up to him. Like, I'd love to see him go play with his brother on the Wild if we can make it work.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Like, I've always thought that would be where he ends up this year, and then we'll make Bedard the captain next year, or Vlasic, or whoever they feel. Just it's Bedard, but
I think they're going Bedard. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'd like to see him try to go win a cup. But like with Foligno and Murphy specifically, I don't know what they want, because I know Davidson's going to do right by them, and Dickinson for that matter. But I think Dickinson, the writing's on the wall. Like,
I think Dickinson gets moved.
You retain half on him, a cup contender's going to take him. Like, it's just the reality.
Easily.
He's at $2 million, and like, yeah, his goal scoring is not really there anymore, but he does have a presence defensively. Like, it's just the reality. He's become a very good defensive center, and teams need that when you're going to win a cup. Like, you know, I could think of at least 3 teams right now that would pick him up and slot him right in on their 4C. Like, you look at a Vegas. I don't know how they make the cap work, but you put Dickinson on your 4th line with Saad. Oh, what a line! And Colasar. It's my Sheet Liga line. Get excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, that's probably what ends up happening, and then we'll get Frondell and probably call. I don't know if they call Lars back up, but
no, I think they will. Me personally, I think he could have stayed in the NHL. I think he just got sent down because of the numbers game. Like, they want to play him in the top 6, and I thought he looked the part. Like, obviously he wasn't perfect, but he was scoring at a 20-goal pace. Like,
he's doing exactly what you expect him to do, which is score goals.
I would say, and then some. Like, I think he's acclimated to the NHL game better than what probably we thought. Maybe even the Blackhawks thought he was going to be. Because when he came out of the OHL, yeah, he scored 70 goals, but he was still kind of a wild card. We didn't know what we were going to get, but he goes in the AHL just quite nicely as point per game, and I expect him to continue that. I think he got named to the AHL All-Star game. Yeah, once guys are traded at the trade deadline, I think they're going to call him back up, and I think we're going to see some Bullardus.
Yeah, and shout out Slider too. I feel like he's put together a good stretch here of showing how he could be a useful 4th liner, because I feel like right now it's almost like a tryout period with him and Doc. See who's going to be here next year. And like, right now, I'd probably take Doc for the physical. Like, if I had my way, I'd probably have both those guys with Green on my 4th line. But clearly, Green showed more offensive upside than I think you and I both imagined he'd have. And, you know, the puck's starting to go in for him finally, which is good. Thought he had a good goal. Was it against Tampa, I think?
Yeah, it was against Tampa.
Yeah, it was Tampa. Yeah, he had a nice goal there.
By the way, another game, like, I'm not disappointed so much with that game, but they could have easily won that game, obviously.
It's just when you lose those games in a shootout, it's such a sour taste in the mouth, especially when you're winning most of the game. But that's hockey. That's hockey. Anyways, time to look up Caleb Malhotra highlights, because apparently that's who they project the Hawks to pick. Fuck. Is that Manny Malhotra's kid?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's in Brantford, so I bet Kyle Davidson is getting plenty of viewings there.
He's got 61 points in 45 games. All right. Interesting. And he's going to BU next year. Oh, man.
So do we want to get on to the trades? Now a bunch of trades have happened, unless you have any more notes about the Blackhawks.
Yeah, we can move on to the trades.
Like, it's always going to be recency bias, but if we did that, like if we did this podcast after a game we won, I feel we'd be a lot better. But yeah, that loss against
game last night left such a sour taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. But all in all, like, just compared to where they've been the last 2 years. Yeah.
They got points in 4 of their last 5, I think. So
I think in January they're 7-5-3. If they even keep close to that pace, they're going to be perfectly fine.
Listen, keep that pace the rest of the year. I really don't give a shit. I just need you guys to figure out how to win a shootout and figure out how to hang on to a lead. If you figure out those 2 things, actually, no. Top of all, figure out how to score a power play goal again. Because it's fucking.
I was going to say better yet, win in regulation or win in overtime for once, because it just seems like anytime they get past regulation, it's where they're probably going to the shootout. Figure out to win in overtime. Because I felt like that first year Bedard, they won a few overtime games, but it just seems like last year and now this year they have done less of that. But anyways, we'll move on. bunch of trades have happened. I'm actually kind of surprised at all the trade action, but when you take into consideration, yeah, there's still another, I think it's like 6 weeks till the trade deadline, but it's basically 3 because there's gonna be a roster freeze for 2 weeks. So yeah, like I think we're gonna see a lot of trades done in the next week before the freeze, and then once the Olympics are done, you pretty much have like another week and a bit to get things done. So that's all going to happen in quick order. And we've already seen the trades. The biggest of them all is a trade we thought should have happened the past year and a bit. Rasmus Anderson finally being traded to Vegas. Always bet on nothing.
What a stupid trade. Like, we all knew where this ended, like you said, a year and a half ago. Like, he stated as clear as day, hey, I'm only going to waive to go to Vegas. I want to extend in Vegas. That's the only place I want to be. And everyone was like, well, he can go here, he can go there. Oh, well, they'll just waive, blah, 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 blah. You know what's crazy? People usually keep the same opinion. So I just think in Vegas, like, I mean, credit to them. They made moves knowing that they could get this done at some point down the line, clearly, because, like, you look at their back end going into the season, we were just kind of like, okay, well, we'll see how they replace Petrangelo. And in their mind, they're like, well, we can just go get Anderson for pennies on the fucking dollar, and, you know, we'll go from there. Shout out Zach Whitecloud, too, like, one of the OG Vegas Golden Knights. Like, sign an 8-year deal as a third-pairing defenseman. Like, have fun in Calgary. But,
I think he'll get traded.
Yeah.
I think they could get
Calgary,
something decent back from him, too.
I don't know. Like, I've just come to the point where, like, I just judge these trades in the NHL. Like, I don't judge them through the lens that I used to, like, 3 or 4 years ago, where, like, I feel like the Jack Eichel trade opened my eyes to just, like, you know, every time you think someone's going to get a lot, they're not. So just kind of open your eyes up to that they're never going to get, like, 3 top prospects. Like Quinn Hughes, bro. Quinn Hughes, like, I thought that was a great return, and I still don't think that was enough. I still don't think that was enough for a player of his caliber. But at the end of the day, that's the most you're going to see get traded for a player. So the fact that, like, you know, people are shocked that, you know, Calgary got crumbs for the Rasmus Anderson trade, I think you need to reassess your analysis of how you look at trades.
Did they get crumbs, though? I think they did all right. No?
Did they, though? Did they? Like, I'm trying to pull up the trade right now. Hold on. What did they get specifically?
It's just
I remember looking at that trade, and I'm just like, you know, you're getting a pick in the 20s, and you're getting a third-pairing defenseman. I just don't think that's enough. I just don't. Especially for a team that is desperately in need to bottom out, and they're just not going to bottom out anytime soon. Because, you know, they need more Nazem Kadris, not less. Clowns.
Yeah, and they don't need anything better than Nazem Kadri, with all due respect to Nazem Kadri. But yeah, like I go back and forth because, again, that's all it is first round picks or magic beans. If it's a different team, like I think it comes down to a matter of how confident are you in Calgary's amateur scouting ability, and I would say not so much, even though they got
Potter. That's probably their most impressive one.
Yeah,
lately. But for every Cole Potter, there's a Sam Honzik, so it's like, do with that what you will. But also, like, so it's a conditional first and a second. I just, like, it's not enough. It's not. Vegas is not bottoming out next year. That's not going to be some crazy pick. Like, yeah, they could maybe have Jack Eichel blow his knee out like Alex Barkov did, and now Florida's in the situation they're in. But, like, that's still 1 in a million situation. I just don't think it's enough. I just don't think it's enough for – you have all the leverage, and then you have none. And then you had less than none. And you still – I feel like Boston could have given you something more. I want to know
that's what I wanted to bring up. If it was – I think it was Mason Lohrei. Would you –
I'd rather Mason Lohrei than Zach Whitecloud every day.
Yeah. But the thing is, they wouldn't let them because because Boston won an extension with Rasmus Anderson. Like, and I think that's ultimately my thing. Could have Calgary waited longer for it? Like, I don't think it's a bad return, but I don't think it's a great return either. I think my big question is, could they have waited longer and gotten a better return? If they had let Boston talk to Rasmus Anderson's agent to potentially work out a deal, and that you're able to get it done, like you're able to get a Mason Lohrei a first, and I don't know, another draft pick like a second or third. I don't know. Yeah, like I think that deal would just be the same, but you swap out Zach Whitecloud, who I like, but I think I would rather bet on Mason Lohrei's upside, who is younger.
Yeah, and I just Dallas is in the mix too. Like I feel like if you waited long enough, Dallas would have given up one of their really good players. I don't know. I just think this is so, like you said, bet on nothing. Most predictable league in sports. The Vegas is better be grateful you can't bet on transactions, because I would have put the house on Anderson to Vegas 2 years ago, and I would have been cashing in on all $10 right now because the odds would have been so poor. But yeah, and Vegas is in a pretty good spot right now, but at the same time, they're not playing their best hockey.
No.
I don't think they've had
no one
all
in
year.
that Pacific is, to be honest. So
division sucks.
Besides maybe the Sharks.
Man, what year is it?
Ducks
The
are
Pacific
weird.
still stinks. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a team that's benefiting from the loser point tremendously, and now they have 3 horses. Like you could have, like I think someone mentioned it, you could ice 3 pairings and you'd have one of Theodore, Hannafin, and Anderson on one of those pairings. That's a luxury. That's a luxury to have, and you still have McNabb. And guys are getting healthier. Like it's crazy. Mark Stone's on pace for like 116 points if you played all 82
it's ridiculous.
Games.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. Like he's gonna be a demon at the Olympics. Eichel's heating up. Marner's there. Hurdle.
He's there.
Yeah, like they have the horses. Dorfea's on pace for 40 goals. I think. Like it's just. And now they get a minute eater defenseman who, this might be like a Seth Jones situation where he's going to be not the best guy in the team like he normally is, and probably going to benefit him. Honestly, he's not going to play 27 a night. He's probably going to play 23, 24 a night, and he gives him some offensive upside. He gives him some ability to move the puck on that back end. I mean, Vegas is a division to lose, that's for sure. No one else wants to win it right now, except for Connor McDavid. He wants to win it. But no one else on that team does.
Vegas is 25, 14, and 13.
Yeah, there's 2 teams in that division with a positive goal differential. Or that division. It's not great.
Yeah. And Vegas only +9, Oilers only +11, and the Oilers can't win more than 2 games in a row. They're the only team this season who has not won more than 2 games in a row, which is crazy.
With having a record like that, only winning 2 in a row at max is credit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it really is crazy that they are.
You look at their record, you would think they'd be a little more 500 than that. So, credit to the guy who's just on a fucking torrid pace the last 2 months in Connor McDavid. Also, Evan Bouchard too, 6-point night last week. Hattie.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch both those guys at the Olympics. It's going to be so much fun.
You'll get Drew Doughty. You're going to have so much fun. And then we're going to get JT Miller.
And Travis Sanheim and Colton Parayko. Don't you forget it.
Oh, God. I was listening to Craig Button today talk about that, and he's just like, I think a lot of teams are making decisions out the 4 nations that are going to bite him in the ass, because you're going to play a lot of teams who are not going to play that style of hockey. Like, I'm telling you, if Germany can just get their speed on, they're gonna fucking surprise someone. Czechia is gonna surprise someone. Denmark's gonna surprise someone.
Dude, Slovakia with Adam Guyan as their goalie. He's gonna pull a Yarhalak.
Please, I'd love to laugh. Dostal, Grubauer's resurgence.
Anderson for Denmark.
They're gonna catch USA or Canada sleeping. It's gonna happen because they're so stuck in their ways. But at least Canada will have Celebrini to cover up for that. The U.S. doesn't have that. Well, we get Tage Thompson, but yeah.
Yeah, not only is it Robertson, that's an issue now. Cole Caulfield. Yeah.
And Adam Fox, if he was healthy. There's a lot. There's just a lot. Oh.
Yeah, Connor McDavid.
My hit list.
Yeah. Connor McDavid, 92 points, number 1 in the NHL, and Again, we're not talking about how good he is. I don't think we can describe how good Connor
Yeah,
McDavid
that's
is.
my Hart Trophy winner.
I saw something. It was the most points from 2011, 2012, and Connor McDavid was number one on that list.
It's crazy. Yeah, and
4 years he didn't play, and he's number one on that list.
Bro, he got 1,000 points in like 700 games. Like he's not a.
He's gonna get 2,000 points, and no one else has done that besides Wayne Gretzky.
Easily, which is crazy because, like you said, no one's done that, and it took Yager like 25 years to even get that close. So, just shows the credit to like where you just don't get to. I think people need to take it into perspective just how good of hockey you get to watch on a nightly basis. Like this is one of the best players to ever touch the game. Like best in our lifetimes, and that's nothing against Crosby or Ovechkin. Like we saw someone break the fucking goal record and still not the best player we've seen in our lifetimes. Like you talk to anyone who's like 50 or above, they're gonna tell you like the three or four best players they've seen are, Gretzky, Lemieux, probably Bobby Orr, and then Connor McDavid.
If you can go back far enough, Gordie Howe, yeah.
And that's just the reality because he's
Rocky
that
Richard,
yeah. He's just levels above his competition. Like we haven't seen a guy be this much above his competition since Mario. Like I guess Crosby was above his competition by a substantial amount, but not
Ovechkin was always there.
You got to look era adjusted, I guess, because like points just weren't getting scored like this in like in 2009 and like 2011. Like it just wasn't. Like that's why I think it's hilarious. I saw Jay Fresh comparing like McDavid's point total at this point in the year to like Kane's when he won the Hart, and I was like, you have to take that into perspective that there were 7 players that were over
percentage.
Dude,
like it was 915 10 years ago, and now it's below 900.
Yeah, and the top 5 scorers were like barely above a point a game every year. So, like, that's what makes what Crosby did so impressive. But right now, when players are scoring over a point a game, like it's going out of style, and McDavid's still lapping them, like, how much of a head start did McKinnon have on this guy? He had like a 15-point gap on him. And it took McDavid a month. Took him a month. 6 weeks. Like, he got over American Thanksgiving, and he was just like, okay, well, time to turn it on. My team won't turn it on, but I will. But I sure as hell will. Which is hilarious to me. So, like I said, when we did our midseason predictions, he's my Hart Trophy winner. I know what McKinnon's doing is electric, but McDavid's just been on a tear that I don't even think we can comprehend. What's it, like 50 points in 20 games or some shit? Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Pretty good, I'd say.
Not as ridiculous as the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, like Nathan McKinnon, I'd say if he was somehow able to keep his 70 goal pace, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, maybe give him the Hart.
70,
he kept it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
Matthews got that tiebreaker twice already.
Yeah, but oh no, he's only on pace for 62 goals now. So yeah.
Oh no!
At this point, it's McDavid's to lose, and I just have to laugh. I remember because I saw Oilers fans saying McDavid needs to score more goals. He has 33 goals right now. he's
Which is crazy. He probably should still score more goals because this is a guy who could score 60 in his sleep if he tried. So
yeah, he's on pace for 50.
He's a playmaker. He's not a shooter. Like that's the crazy part. He's leaps and bounds above everyone, and I just can't wait to see what he does with Anthony Cirelli attached to his wing. It's going to be really, really awesome.
Yeah. And Tom Wilson. Yeah.
This popped wrong for this. Holy smokes. Just kidding. He's going to get glued to Celebrini, and it's going to be electric as fuck. Like, we all know what's coming. Canada's going to drop like fucking 5 goals a game, and then they're going to fuck up once, and that's all they're going to talk about. And it's going to be in the round robin. It's always in the round robin. And
I was going to say, Jordan Bennington's going to let in 6 goals.
No, Logan Thompson will have the net by then.
Oh, another point I wanted to make, which doesn't really relate to the Blackhawks, but they play those 2 games. They shit kicked Bennington, and then Thompson just like shut the door on them. Like, I hope Doug Armstrong was watching both those games. Well, not even Doug Armstrong, because it's not his decision. That should be John Cooper. I hope John Cooper was watching those games. Yeah.
John Cooper's like, how can I make Vasilevsky have a Canadian citizenship? How can we make this happen?
They tried to do it with Joey Decord last year. I mean, might as well go all the way and do it with Vasilevsky.
Crazy.
But yeah, if John
Because
Cooper
it's the
can
cup
like
or whatever they said. I don't know. I don't read the Bible.
because and John Cooper clearly has pull because he got Cirelli on that team over someone for like Sam Bennett, who I think was more deserving. But yeah, like still start Logan Thompson. Anyways,
Yeah, don't overthink this.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. We brought his name up earlier, Macklin Celebrini, on pace for over 120 points. He would be the only teenager to have more than 120 points. Like the only other teenager to get more than 120 points would be Wayne Gretzky. I think Crosby hit 120, but I think Macklin's on pace for like 122 points. It's just ridiculous what he's doing.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. He's got like 78 points right now, and he's just been on such a tear. And I feel like every night he just does something different with his game that just elevates him. And he's elevating
125 points. He's on pace.
Not too shabby for the 19-year-old. I mean, let's face it, he's been on a tear that we haven't seen from a year two player since Crosby. Like, that's just what it is. Like, that's the reality. He's on a bigger year two tear than Connor McDavid. And yeah, it's the year or whatever, but it's just dominance. It's pure dominance on a team that I don't think has the best back end and I don't think has the most consistent goaltending. And he's got them in a playoff spot right now, single-handedly. And they did it without Will Smith for like 15 games. I think that's really impressive and not getting talked about enough. Obviously, like Colin Graff stepped up too and whatnot, but dude, like he should be Hart Trophy finalist, bare minimum. Like
him, McKinnon, and McDavid. Those are the three.
Yeah, if anyone else sneaks in there, just shame on you. Because it shouldn't be anyone but those three right now. Yeah. I mean, Kucherov's also
Kucherov, don't you dare. Yeah.
Yeah, Kucherov's been very good lately. Rantanen's been kind of slept on too, but I don't know, man. He's 19 and he's doing this. It's crazy. But also, it helps when you have an elite running mate on your side. So, not trying to bring it back to the Blackhawks, but, you know, it's a lot easier when you got some skill running through that lineup and, you know, two players who actually can carry a line. And it helps. It helps a little bit, even if you don't have defensemen. But it's hard not to be excited if you're a Sharks fan right now. Like, goalie looks good. Center looks good. You know, you were one pick away from Schaefer. Holy shit, if this team had Schaefer, this would be terrifying. Like, they'd probably be first place in it. They'd be first place in the Pacific. I'm so serious.
Probably, yeah.
God bless they fucking got Michael Misa. And Michael Misa probably will still be a demon, but he's not going to be Matthew Schaefer, and that's all that matters.
He won't even be Anton Friendel. Bum can't score at the World Juniors. Anton Friendel,
my future consistent 30-goal scorer right there.
Yeah. And hey, the Sharks are in a playoff spot, and they're buying. What a concept. Kiefer Sherwood being traded to the Sharks for, I think it was 2 second-round picks, and a guy whose name I do not remember off the top of my head. It was like, let me look it up. I think it was like Cole Clean. I think that's what the name is. Let's see if I'm right.
Well,
yes, it is Cole Clean.
There we go. But
Jamie, pull that up.
Jarvis,
look up the Kiefer Sherwood favorites.
Jarvis, show me this guy's balls.
And oil him up, put him in a bikini.
Now we're talking. Make him 9 feet tall.
Now the show has finally started.
But yeah, this is what teams do when they're on the come up. You pick up a guy who can potentially help that middle six tremendously, and I don't think he scored with the Sharks yet, but he has 17 goals in the year.
I don't even think he's played with the Sharks yet.
Well, that'll be why he hasn't scored yet. There we go.
Yeah.
Could potentially be up for an extension. I know the number they were talking about would be like 5.5, which like the Sharks can very easily afford. And, you know, you need guys like that on the team, you know. He's probably never going to score at that clip again, but hey, listen, credit to Mike Greer. I think the first year and a half as a GM, he kind of got shit on a lot. I think specifically for the Erik Karlsson trade, which like it's a move you had to do. You had to get it off the books. And then shocker, once he starts getting multiple first round picks a year, not bad at his job. You know, he's
And
He's
like
picked
top
up,
3 picks.
yeah, it usually helps, picking up like Will Smith and Quentin Musty
Take
and
notes, Canucks and Rangers and every other mid team in the NHL.
Celebrini and Dickinson and Michael Misa and Cheryshev and all these guys that are starting to come in. I think it doesn't get talked about enough that they went after Colin Graff after he won a national championship a couple years ago. That was a guy who had a lot of interest from people signing out of college, and they got him and they were patient with him. And now he's got 30 points in 50 games and has become a great penalty killer. I know I mentioned when we talked to Scott Powers, it's something I'd like to see Ryan Green maybe turn into. I don't know if I'll have the goal scoring, but definitely the two-way play and the playmaking ability. And then they still have great veterans. They just extended Wenberg. They still have Toffoli. Their back end, I think, is well overperforming what I thought they would do. Or lost like half a point a game or some shit, which is wild. Klingberg's got 10 goals or 9 goals, I think. They're a fun team. They're playing for each other, which is something that I was just talking about earlier. Like, you want to see that out of your young guys. And they're feisty too, man. They had a goalie fight against Florida last week.
The first one since before COVID. I think it was Mike Smith was the last goalie fight, and I think it was Riddick and it was Battle of Alberta. That's how long ago that was.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking old. But yeah, they got a lot of pieces going the right way right now, and I think you got to give credit to their GM. They still got some coming along the way, and the sky's the limit right now with the team. I think everyone's had the conversation: how are they going to get their number one defenseman? I think that's a lot easier than people think. Like, I think this is a team that should just pounce at Dougie Hamilton. Like, you're probably going to get him for next to nothing.
Dougie Hamilton. I mean, it'd be nice, but I would be calling the Rangers right now. Because that Adam Fox there is just a ticking time bomb right now, I think.
Michael Misa for Adam Fox. Let's get crazy. Let's set them up. Or William Eklund for Adam Fox.
We're already doing trades we'd like to see.
Listen, like, they're a number one defenseman away from potentially being a real problem. So, and they're not going to be in the Bierhoff sweepstakes. I think you and I had talked about that a lot. Like, if they could get,
they're going to be making the playoffs.
When they're not in this spot, it's a deeper defenseman class too, which helps them. But they need to find their number one defenseman. How you can convince Rasmus Anderson to come over, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think getting a Dougie Hamilton in a trade or somehow, the golden goose, like you said, like an Adam Fox, that's got to be what's on the table right now for this team. You have to think, at least in the offseason. I don't know about midseason, but it's got to be in Mike Grier's mind because those don't grow on trees. And, you got to, like you said, you got a team in New York that seems pretty disgruntled with theirs. So, which God knows why. Really good player, but who knows? Maybe he just likes going to libraries or museums or whatever the fuck it was with Dougie Hamilton that ran him out of town 3 times. Run Adam Fox out of town.
Yeah, well, California has libraries because they like to be educated. Ew. Yeah, send them to San Jose, and New Jersey doesn't have that. And Alberta. You said the number one defensemen don't grow on trees, which I agree, but I also don't think it's Haley's comment. Like, we saw Quinn Hughes get traded earlier this year, and not that I think Noah Dobson is the number one defenseman, but that's a top pairing guy. Like, these guys are available more often than we think you are, and to go back to our early points, they're not as hard as to acquire as we think they are. I wish more teams would see that.
Yeah, but it's all timing based. I really do think it's all timing based. Like, last year was so specific just because the Canucks were in a 3-year blow up basically where everything was going wrong. And then Dobson was in a contract here where they didn't want to pay him. Like, I just feel like the stars aligned this year to where big trades were going to happen.
Yeah.
But, like, before that, the only one, there's 2 I can think of, and it's Sergachev and Erik Karlsson. And, like, maybe Ryan McDonough if you want to go back to, like, 2018. Like, that's the only time you really see a player of that caliber get traded, I feel like. I mean, if you really want to go PK Subban, there's that. Like, it does happen. Like, you're right. It's not Haley's comment, but once Jones every 2 or 3 years is the definition of not growing on trees. So it's just like, when the timing comes, you have the capital to strike, and I would like to see a team like the Sharks or the Blackhawks or the Ducks or one of these teams that has the capital and has the assets to make the jump. And I think the Sharks did their first little baby leap. They're starting to get to the deep end, but eventually you got to jump off that high dive. And I think if let's say they sneak out of round 1 this year, I think you make that high dive this summer. And might be Adam Fox, like you said. Could be Erasmus Anderson. Could be a name that we haven't even mentioned.
Darren Radish, who was point per game, I think.
Could be Darren Radish. You're 100% correct. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
And again, just to bring it back to the Blackhawks, I do love where their defense is at. I think it's going to be good going forward. But if this team had a Matthew Schaefer right now, yes, please. And also just looking ahead to the draft, if they have I don't think they will, but if they do drop back, like lose a bunch of games and drop back into the top 3 discussion of Keaton Veeroff is available to you, you take them, especially if Stenberg has been taken. Like I'm even at the point now where like I would debate McKenna and Veerhoff.
Still taking McKenna. Just to look at those stats again, still taking McKenna. Like you would think McKenna's half point a game with the way he's getting talked about. He's got 29 and 21 as a freshman. Like, give me a fucking break. This guy's still really good. Basically on the same percentage as Celebrini. So, like I said, if the Hawks can somehow find their way into the top 4 now, just do it, because this is going to be the last chance you have to get a running mate for Bedard that isn't going to cost actual dollars. So, like to see them do it, because I think Tyler Lawrence, I think he's not adjusting too well to BU right now, but it's the motor's there. So, and San Jose, like, credit to them, they don't really need another horse at forward. Like they got Will Smith, they got Celebrini, they got Eklund, they got Misa. That's 4 horses right there, and that's not even including guys like Musty and Cheryshev and Graf and all of them. So, ironically, they're in a different spot than the Hawks. Like they have more high-end talent, but the Hawks have more high-end talent on the back end.
The Hawks are more balanced, I think.
They are. The
Sharks.
Like, I mean, you heard from Scott Powers. They were building the team like the Hurricanes at one point. Like, it shows. They're going to have a lot of guys who are probably at the same level of skill, but, if you catch them all on the wrong night, they're going to drop 8 on you. And they've already shown that.
Yeah, and they're like the Sharks style, especially with the NHL going more offensive. I think that's why we're seeing them probably be more ahead in their rebuild than what the Hawks are right now.
Also helps when your star players doesn't get hurt and still keeps his pace. That helps.
That helps too.
Would have loved to see if Bedard never got hurt, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd still be sitting here. I know that's not how it goes.
I said that quote, like, apparently my parents have never heard that quote before, and I was like, really? I thought that was an old time saying, like that's the bee's knees. That's something you can set your watch to. So yeah, that was interesting when I said if ifs and nuts were candy and nuts, and they both like laughed like crazy. I'm like, what? You never heard that before? Like, no. I'm like, well, I'm kind of shocked. I thought that was a common expression.
My 2 favorites for those are if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. Yeah.
And then if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass when it hopped. Shout out Red Foreman.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the Red Foreman.
But if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. I use that shit all the fucking time when, NHL analysts, quote unquote, want to start getting cryptic on Twitter.
God.
Well, if they had this, they'd be really good. Yeah, well, if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, if ifs and buts for candy and nuts. Jesus Christ. Like,
and I bet dollars to donuts. That's another phrase.
I feel like I see it way more in football than hockey because it's a 1-game thing. So
well, Jim, if I bet dollars to donuts, like, yeah, that's definitely a football announcer thing.
Can you? And then for hockey, it's just he missed the net by a mile all time. What a game! What is the game called by that guy? Jim Ferguson on the way out has like one of the funniest calls ever, and then completely fucks up a Leafs overtime winner. Like
scores Kasperi Kapanen.
Not only is it the best player on the Leafs, but he doesn't even shoot the direction that Kapanen shoots. Like
it's not even close.
We have the watch. We'll see you in Valhalla. It's what Chris Cuthbert said when he took the mic from him, bro.
That is insane.
And then they replaced Don Cherry with Kevin Bieksa. And that's Hockey Night in Canada.
Can't believe they made Hockey Night in Canada woke.
What's next?
next they're gonna add a woman to the panel. Oh, PU. What? And next they're gonna make a show about 2 gay hockey players. No, they wouldn't go that far. No.
Dude, heated rivalry TikTok is crazy.
Oh
man.
And then another thing, like I was talking to my mom about TV shows, and she was like, "Yeah, I've watched all of Heated Rivalry." I'm like, "Damn, okay, I'm really behind."
I watched it.
Have you watched it? Okay,
okay, it's good.
I'm sorry, I was too busy watching The Sopranos for like a month. Now I need like a month to not watch
what a
TV.
whiplash this is gonna be. We need to gear up because there's a bunch of stuff coming out in like 2 months. So The Boys, Invincible,
dude. These next few months, because there's the Olympics, and then for me, like baseball season's gonna be starting. Like there's gonna be the playoffs, and then Invincible's coming out, yeah, and then The Boys is gonna be out in April too. So like I'm gonna be overstimulated.
Nah, this is called max consumption.
Max ammo.
I'm consume maxing.
Is this a sign of a recession? Surely there's nothing worse going on in the world right now.
A new Nintendo console. Damn it! The signs were all there.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, like at least The Sopranos wasn't woke. Like if it was woke, that means then Tony Soprano would go to therapy, and then AJ would have depression and anxiety. So yeah, gonna go to a non-woke show to a woke show.
Followed the Doechii song in Sopranos. That's so crazy.
And that's why he never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Ding, ding, ding. Just nail all of that. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. Anyways, speaking of from the New Jersey, greater New York area, let's talk about some moves that were made there. I'm confused by, as much as I think it's cool the Islanders are winning, I'm confused at the moves they have made the last couple of weeks couple of days with trading for Carson Soucy and then taking on Andre Palat's contract. What's up with that? Get it? I did like a New Jersey, New York accent thing.
Patrick Waugh being old and playoff experience. I don't really know. I feel like Soucy's just a great extra guy to have for the playoffs. I get that trade, but Siplikov had like 40 points last year, and he's like 7 years younger. I don't know why we're doing that. Maybe you just want playoff pedigree. Maybe you want a guy who's been there.
Yeah, sandpaper, tooth and nails.
But doing that with your division rival does seem a little weird. I will say that. It does seem a little odd. Seems a little. But who cares? They're about to beat the Rangers tonight, and when they do that, I believe they'll be second place. Yep, second place. Or no, they'll be tied for second in the Metro. So still a phenomenal year. I think Sorokin's got 6 shutouts, which is nuts. They're getting depth scoring across the board. Barzal has been healthy this year, which helps a ton, I feel like. And, Horvat's come back.
He's underrated now.
Dude, he's got 43 points this year. Yeah, like he's always been solid. Another guy that if there's one of the fucking bottomed out, I would have loved, but that's not happening. Shout out Anthony Duclair. He's got 25 points this year. Anders Lee still kicking it. Tony D'Angelo has 22 points on his hockey team. Good Lord. Part of the
Dang. Watch
Dodson
your
trade.
tone.
Part of the Dodson trade, though, Heineman, he's half point a game, so that's nice. And here's the biggest thing: they have 8 players with 10 or more goals. That's how you win hockey games. Depth. So the Blackhawks can take notes. You don't have to do it with just 3 people getting a bajillion points. You can have depth scoring and win consistently, especially when you have an elite goalie like the Blackhawks potentially do, and like the Islanders do with Sorokin. You play structured hockey in front of them, you're going to win more than you lose. I mean, like Callum Ritchie's got 15 points this year. Like they're getting so much depth scoring. Like 15 guys have at least 14 or more points on this team. That adds up. Like I used to talk about this with Vegas all the time. Like if you get that many guys scoring at that clip, more often than not, you're probably winning a hockey game. Just because someone's going to step up every night.
Oh, Palat scored in his Islanders debut, so
Okay, I'll take back everything I said, by the way. Siplikov has 2 points in 27 games. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's
That's a
been
good
rough
trade.
from this year.
That's a good
And
trade.
I'll say with the Carson Soucy thing too. I was under the impression he had multiple years left, and I was thinking, okay, why are the Islanders taking on that? No, it's only 1 year left. Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
a
I
rental.
rescind all of
I
that.
got Soucy. Yeah, Soucy.
Yeah,
I've always thought Soucy was pretty underrated since his days in Seattle, or actually his days in Minnesota.
and
Like
he's a
he's
good
analytically
Alberta
sound and he
kid.
blocks shots. Like it's just he's a guy you want on your third pair. Like I've always said, if like the Hawks had needed a third pair left-handed shot, go get him. And he puts up good minutes wherever he goes. So that's a safe bet. And Palat's got playoff experience, and like you said, he just scored. So
Against the Rangers, no less.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, let the devil magic ride. If there's anything with the Islanders, they're gonna win, and it's not gonna make any sense. That's always been the thing since Trotz was there. So good for them. And also shows just how chaotic the draft lottery can be sometimes if it actually goes that way. I was a team that finished 11th last and just had their whole franchise changed because they got first overall. So maybe Bettman can rig the lottery more. So I mean, I liked it when it was rigged a couple years ago, but this rigging was good. I don't care if you show the lottery balls; like that doesn't change a freaking thing that I believe. What's that? All the
Who would have
balls have
thought?
11.
Who would have thought the Islanders, out of all the New York teams, would be the one? Like out of them, Devils and Rangers would be the best team, and the Rangers are selling off, and the Devils might be selling off.
Well, the Rangers, it was always depth scoring that was concerning to me. Same with the Devils, honestly. But you would think with Shesterkin and Panarin and all those guys, but I think the Rangers are making the right move right now. Like you can recoup
Yeah,
assets for Panarin, who you weren't going to re-sign. You got your core somewhat locked up. You have the cancer at captain that you're planning on keeping, which whatever, do you? I really don't care. And I'm going to be honest, like what gives this organization any faith that they're going to be able to develop a top 5 pick? Like if they get an Ivar Stenberg, who's to say he's not going to be another Capo Caca? Because you don't know how to fucking develop the guy.
So this was another conversation I was having with our good friend Connor Boomer. Like I think this was a couple of weeks ago, and I forget how it got brought up, but I think Connor was just like, "Oh, I can't wait for them to get Stenberg or McKenna," and I'm like, "They're gonna mess him up, both of them up, either one if they do get either one of them." And then he was like, "Yeah, Tanner Glass and Jed Ortmeyer are the player development, like the two people in charge of player development." I'm like, there's your problem right there. Like 2 guys who combined for not even 50 goals and almost 1,000 NHL games are at the head of your player player development department. I mean, like I don't think that always equates because like Wayne Gretzky was a horrible head coach. So I mean, if we're just basing point production off of how you can be at an NHL profession, like it's not always a perfect thing. But is that the best you can do, Tanner Glass and Jed Ortmeyer? Like, yeah, no, it's no wonder why you haven't been able to develop any decent forward. Like, who's the best forward they've developed in the last 15, 20 years, like the Cap era? Like, honestly, it might be Chris Kreider for them.
Yeah, or Will
Because I
Cooley.
can't. Yeah,
He's
because
developed pretty good. Like for expectation, I guess. Um, it's pretty bleak. And it's crazy because like you look at their point production, like they're getting point production out as a advantage at Panarin again, but it doesn't matter. And you got so many guys making money for term that you would like in a perfect world, like, yeah, you probably want to sell Vincent Trocheck with 33 points in 39 games. But how do you sell that off to anyone not named Bill Guerin? Like, no one's taking that. It's just, I mean, apparently the Blackhawks would be sniffing around that, according to, two different sources.
Okay, like
Which great. Welcome back, Tyler Johnson. Back like fucking left.
Blackhawks in on a veteran forward. Yeah, they didn't teach you these Nutella tricks in school. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Really shooting for the stars. Really, real shocker there. But like Noah Lava, like I don't know if that's a guy they want to keep, but like he's got 15 points in 50 games. That can get you something. Taylor Radish just become a good penalty killer. That can get you a pick. Dude, they have nothing to sell off besides Panarin. Like, that's just the reality. Also, I think I'm taking Zibanejad if he's available this offseason. I think I am.
Like for the Hawks? Nice
yes.
Yes. If it's a salary dump, because hey, the Rangers have done that before, where they just dump a guy for next to nothing. So hey,
exactly. Like if this is like another Chris Kreider or some shit, I'm all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what Trocheck is, I guess I can get behind it. But like if they're giving up assets for Vincent Trocheck, I'm out. No, it's not even funny.
And that's the one thing, like with Davidson, I know he's not going to do that.
Yeah, whatever. Like, oh, yeah, the Rangers are not in a good spot, and I don't think they have the depth to get out of this anytime soon. Your best bet is that Panarin gets you at least a decent prospect back, or you trade him to a team that's on the fence in the playoffs, so you can get a decent pick. But, the only guy that I can think to do that would be Florida, and Florida doesn't have their first, so it gets a little dicey from there.
Unless you want a first-round pick from, like, 2030, then sure.
No one wants that. If you're the Rangers, you can't go into this draft with one first-round pick. You just can't.
What do you mean you don't want a player born in 2012? Like, what do you mean a player born in 2012 is not going to help them?
Oh, my God. That's like my nephew's draft class. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Okay. This sucks.
Bro, that's like Stevie's draft class.
Hopefully the Rangers
can play the Jesus.
I don't know though. Hopefully the Rangers can learn from their previous mistakes of drafting high and striking iron when the fire's hot. Because they're not going to get as lucky this time to have an Adam Fox be like, I only want to go here. And you still almost push him out of town. And you're not going to get as lucky to sign an Artemi Panarin in the summer of year one of a rebuild and go up 9 spots in the lottery to pick second overall. Like they have a lot
of. And then, hey, our
franchise
goalie of 15 years, he's going to be replaced by another franchise goalie. He's just from Russia this time and not Sweden.
Yeah, you're not going to get that lucky twice. And they couldn't capitalize on that luck. They got 2 conference finals appearances off it. But you got to have a more structured way to go about this because if not, you're going to be stuck in the bottom for at least the next 3 years. So we interested to see what Drury does.
Panthers broke them, like maybe the most out of any team.
That the Lightning, but the team in Florida, they've broken the Rangers. But don't worry, they won the Winter Classic, so they got vengeance.
That's how I feel about the Wild, like winning all these games over the past few years against the Blackhawks. Like, there you go, there's your revenge.
Congratulations! Now, but I'm into winning a first round series challenge. My opponents, I can't. You get what I mean? I'm done.
Yeah. When I'm gonna not win a first round competition, my opponent is the Minnesota Wild and the LA Kings. I had to throw that in there. One thing I want to bring up about JT Miller, and I think someone tweeted this out, is the funniest thing about him is that they traded JT Miller before he was good, and then they acquired him after his peak. Like, I don't think it's not a coincidence that the Lightning moved on from him and they won back-to-back cups.
Yeah, no, there's really no coincidence there. It's almost like his track record follows him, but that'd be too smart to say.
What? Smart? In my front office?
What?
What? Uh, yeah. Any more any more notes on the Rangers?
No, I have nothing else to say about the Rangers. Oh, look, JT Miller got an assist. It's all fixed. They're still losing, but it's all fixed.
We did it, guys. The city is saved.
For the blue shirts. Wow! And then he's going to do it for the Olympic team because we're just like Miracle on Ice. Wow!
Yeah.
Jarvis, what year was Miracle on Ice? Oh, wait, 1980? That's crazy. Anyways.
No, but we got to build a good team and not just assemble the best players, or whatever the Herb Brooks quote is.
Oh God! 1 year messed up 40 years of a development franchise, but that's cool. Anyways, what's next?
This happened, I think, after we recorded the Scott Powers interview. The Columbus Blue Jackets firing Dean Evison and replacing him with Rick Bowness, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, Dean Evison's not getting hired anywhere anytime soon.
Nope. He just
burned that bridge about as bad as you can burn it. At least in hockey, burned it bad. If it was any other sport, he'd be hired. But this is a boys' club, so remember, it's the softest league in the world that likes to think they're the hardest league in the world. So, second they get their feelings hurt, you're blackballed. Sorry, bud. You can literally do horrible, heinous things, but oh no, he said bad things about us. Now we can't hire him.
Oh my God! Someone flipped the middle finger. Oh, we gotta fine him $5,000. Oh, someone gets a concussion. No, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah,
league sucks.
Love this league. Yeah. Why is this? But it's worked out for Columbus. They have gotten the new head coach.
Yeah, they tried to save their season, and Dean Evison looks like a coach that has a shelf life now, and we know that. But at the same time, don't think it was a warranted firing. I think any other year they're fine with this, and clearly something was going on behind the scenes to make him mad enough to go publicly and talk that soon after a firing. Like I think it took Mike Babcock 3 years to say a word after what happened.
Yeah, and he was same with Joe Quenneville. Yeah, and they were
both got hired.
Yeah.
So you're never dead, and it's like wrestling, man. It's like wrestling. You could burn that bridge so hard, there's always room to come back. His bridge is burnt for at least the next 5 years, though. You will not see him in this sport. Not as long as you haven't seen Gerard Gallant in this sport. And it's because he had a backbone and a pulse. Just the reality of what it is.
I was going to say, yeah, he's probably going to need at least a few years in Russia. Get ready to speak Russianese.
I heard Shanghai's looking for a coach.
God, isn't Gerard Gallant sick? Take over.
No, they gave it to Mitch Love, I thought.
Oh, my God. Yeah, again, I just love this league. Love this sport.
But yeah, Columbus continues to do very questionable things in terms of coaching in the front office, at least since John Tortorella was there. This is the third coach that's had some crazy shit happen on the way out, or at least had some controversial stuff occur.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that says about John Davidson and the crew that they're running out there with that front office. I mean, I know they fired Kekalainen, but
I was going to say that's not just a Kekalainen thing.
Nope. Something higher than that. So I don't know what's going on with the ownership there, but it's becoming an often enough occurrence where at least the average viewer is starting to notice. And that, this is already a market that has trouble signing free agents. It's a market that has trouble retaining talent. And yeah, they've gotten better at it the last couple of years, but I mean, if you're having a coach get burned every 18 months, that's tough. That's tough. And I think they have since Torts. They've had 3 coaches since Torts.
Yeah.
And Bonus isn't a surefire opportunity. Bonus retired. The fact that no one's talking about that is crazy. This guy retired and came back. He's coming back for a mid-season to save your sinking ship potentially. Columbus is going to have some big decisions to make this offseason, which is the biggest time ever for Columbus every year is the offseason. But this one's a little different, I feel like, because you really got to right the ship right now. I feel like you got a little too much talent on this team to be squandering the way they are. And maybe that's how the front office felt. Maybe that's why they fired Evison, but I don't know, man. Like, if you think they're that close, maybe go acquire one of these big pieces. Like, imagine a Quinn Hughes with Zach Rowinski. Like, you could have done that. Like, you could go get a Rasmus Anderson. I mean, they don't really need a defenseman, but like, if a center becomes available, that's something you can go get. Like, if the price is right, they should be in on Nazem Kadri. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
Hey, here's a name that
sorry, go.
I was gonna say. Here's a name I don't think we've brought up all podcasts. Go get Elias Pettersson. I'm pretty sure Vancouver would love to take Kent Johnson back. BC guy.
Yep. Give him Kent Johnson. Give him, I don't know, Matejchuk and a first or something. Like, just make it happen, and then you put Elias Pettersson with Kirill Marchenko. Like, that's
And then you got Fantilli
disgusting.
as your 2C. Oh,
Gross. Dillinger's your 3. That's really good center depth. So, like, Columbus it's a very fixable problem. It's a very fixable problem. You just need to stop getting in the headlines of firing coaches every 18 months. I don't think that's a sustainable strategy.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jackets are kind of like, they've got all the high draft picks, but now they're at a point where I feel like they haven't cashed in on some of the values for that.
Yeah. No, they really haven't. And I think the 2021 draft or 2022 draft, those are perfect examples. I mean, 2021, it was Kent Johnson, it was Cole Sillinger, and it was Carson Kuhlman. So those 3 first-round picks, and Sillinger's played like 250 games, but that's not really the return you were looking for on that draft class, I'd imagine. And, you know, they traded David Jiricek. That was a top 6 pick. Like, I don't know. It's the same thing with the Rangers. Maybe take a look at your scouting department. But, like, they have had hits. But, like, are those guys who had those hits still here? And are they pre or post-COVID? Like, I think the last good one was Marchenko. And that was a mid-round pick. You traded Chinikov.
Yeah.
That's another first-round pick. You might have to take a look at your talent evaluation staff. Because, you know, it's been a decade since you found Zach Rowinski. Those don't, like... Can't say that happened a couple years ago anymore. And Jack Reeves. Jack Reeves has been a hell of a find by them. I'll give him that one. Jack Reeves has been really good.
Finally got a goalie.
Still. Well, yeah. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I've always been like, I think both you and I have been fans of the Blue Jackets with what they've done, but yeah, they've kind of just like stalled, malaised, and haven't been able to take that step, and they've been knocking at the door.
Yeah, they just got to add. They got to add something that's not Damon Severson. Just put it that way.
Or Ivan Provorov, or Mason.
Because those are their last 2 big ads. So. Oh, yeah, Marching your mint. Holy shit. Forgot about that.
He got a hat trick the other day, so...
Yep, Wasn't
it against the Lightning?
Mm-hmm.
What like a... Yeah, like, the team... And to the team that the Hawks lost to the night before. Like, that was on... I think they beat them on the second half of that half of that back-to-back. Messing my words up. Jeez. Let's talk about Jarmo Kekalainen's new team, the Buffalo Sabres, and how they're in a playoff spot, and they've just extended Shane Doan for 7 years.
I mean, Josh Doan?
What did I say? Did I say...
Shane, his dad is...
Oh, did I say Shane Doan? I'm so sorry. Just, you know, the Alberta boy, my dad knew him, so, you know, I just had to shout Shane Doan out, and I'm pretty sure he's working with the Leafs right now.
That's why I said, yeah. But Buffalo is the hottest team in hockey. There's no other way to put it. I mean, they're just... Dahlin's come back, and it's funny. Buffalo's made a... Kevin Adams he might be in a Dale Talon situation here in about 2 seconds, because he's made like 3 trades where everyone gave him shit, and I'm looking at their point totals, and all those guys are reasons that they're winning right now. Like, he got so much shit for that Savoy-McLeod trade, and McLeod has 35 points this year. Doan has 36. Like, those are your 3rd and 4th best scorers this year.
I was critical of those trades. We can go back to the podcast to listen to them, and it's worked out for them.
Mattias Samuelsson has 31 points this year on the back end. Like, they're getting production out of some guys that they have been waiting years to get production out of. Like, Jason Zucker's got 27 points in 33 games. Like, he's on fire this year when he's healthy.
That's crazy.
Zach Benson's like really been really good when he's healthy. He's missed time. Oslin's half a point a game. Josh Norris has 17 points in 19 games. That's huge.
Please,
They got him back
please
for
just
this
stay
tear.
healthy. Yeah.
Isaac Rosen's half point a game. Like, it'd be nice to see Kessel Ring play more, but he's only played 20 games this year. But dude, like they're getting scoring from all over the place right now. It's a different hero every night. Tage Thompson's clearly leading from the front, 55 and 52, and had a big game last night. Darlene had the hat trick, obviously, but Darlene's a guy who had to miss some time for personal reasons. Come back, he's a Norris caliber defenseman every year. He's probably one of the most underrated defensemen in hockey, just because he's on Buffalo. And you look at this team; they're third in the Atlantic. They're no sign of slowing down anytime soon. And they're getting production from the exact players you would need production from to succeed in this division that is an absolute gauntlet. And
Yeah.
it's crazy that this is the year they're breaking out. And it's on the shoulders of Alex Lyon and UP. Like Alex Lyon's been a godsend as he's splitting the starts of UPL and he's been great. He's got a 9-11. And he's got 2 shutouts this year, and he's just been rocked. He's 12-6-3, and UPL's 11-7-2. And when Colton Ellis had to come in, he was able to tread water and get 7 wins. They're just finding ways to win, and that's what happens when people want to fucking play for each other. Like this is the first time a Buffalo Sabres team has wanted to looked like they wanted to play for each other since like that early stint with Jeff Skinner for like 2 months. But this is different. This has gone on longer. This is later in the year. They're making a push at a time when a lot of teams were slumping, and it pays off. Like we talk about it all the time. You go on a 10-game win streak in the NHL, you're probably going to make the playoffs just because the amount of ground you cover in that time. It's very hard to blow it.
You got to do it.
Sorry, what?
I was going to say, but if you do it early in the season, that leaves more room for error. Like if you get a 10-game winning streak in the middle of the season, like you're golden pretty much. And like especially if you tread water, like
100%. I was just going to say, if they go 500 the rest of the way, you're probably in a playoff spot, which is crazy. But why stop there? Keep going. Like you're in legit striking distance of Tampa and Detroit right now. Who's to say you need to stop right now? Like take this to the 1 seed back into the playoffs. You're 5 points out of first place right now. You're 4 points out of second. You got 2 games in hand on the Red Wings for second. Let's get an extra home playoff game in Buffalo for the first time. And let's make the Jets even more funny and make them the saddest franchise in sports. Yeah, I know. They're the longest drought besides the Jets. I want the Jets to be the worst one. I think it'd be very funny. And I also think it'd be funny that, like, the second the Sabres start doing good, the Pagulas start blowing up the Bills, which I think is very funny. Like, they just can't have both teams operating well at the same time. One of them has to get tampered with by Terry Pagula. It's actually fucking crazy. But, Yarmouth's
who do they hire as their
coach?
Right the Bills, to bring it back to football. Who do they hire?
They hired their OC because they think Sean McDermott's the answer to all their problems. Which, like, yeah, you lose in the playoffs so many times, that could be the case, but also like there's no guarantee that who you hire is going to be better. And if I'm Josh Allen, I'm looking at the way that they're pointing fingers right now. You got like 1 more year of this shit. Like, if I was a betting man, we are going to see a star quarterback get traded in the next calendar or 18 months because you can't really see next calendar year. Star quarterback getting traded, whether it's Burrow, whether it's Lamar, or whether it's Josh Allen. One of them is getting traded because their franchises are just fumbling, and there are franchises chomping at the bit to get them, like in Minnesota. So that's going to happen at some point way down the line.
What do you mean? What do they call J.J. McCarthy? What was his nickname again?
Yeah, what do you mean Nine's not capable enough of pulling the team out of their ass? Yeah, he might not be able to pull it out. And I swear to God, if Joe Burrow or Lamar ends up in my division, you will never – obscure things will be coming out of my mouth for the foreseeable future. That'll just be ridiculous. I already got to deal with, like, elite coaching throughout the whole division. Like, the whole division had a winning record this year. Like, we're the Atlantic of football. It's stupid. Anyways,
at least a football, some might say.
Yeah, and Buffalo still has back to the Sabres. They still have a couple nights where they don't look great. Like they had a rough game against Carolina, but they hung around for a while, and it's a sign of a team that's learning how to win, and they're learning how to win in the best way possible, which is streaking down the line, and I just really hope in their sake that they don't cool off during this Olympic break, because like that, I'm telling you, this Olympic break is going to change a lot of what's going on in the standings right now. Because one of these teams, like let's just say Florida can come back from the Olympics and be white hot going into the playoffs, and they'll probably make it because they're going to catch some teams that just aren't. They're not going to be on their A game. And I'm kind of hoping that the Hawks use this to just really hone in and finish the last month and a half strong, because they're going to be able to catch a lot of teams on an off night with this break. The NHL has not had a break this long in 12 years, right? Since 2014. So we'll see.
Oh, a point I wanted to make earlier was I think I saw Jonathan Toews for the first, like he had a 4-game goal streak for the first time since 24. I think it was March 2014. So the last time we went to the Olympics was 12 years ago. Like, yeah, we're so due for the Olympics. But yeah, I just wanted to make that point.
We're all Olympics pilled.
Yeah, I just because like it's so open, and with like a knockout tournament. Like I've said, maybe they don't necessarily win the gold medal, but there's so many teams that can just disrupt everything and pull up an upset and maybe get a bronze medal. Or who knows? Maybe like Czechia goes crazy, like Pasternak pops off like Yager, and then Dostal does his hat trick, and Czechia could win a gold medal just like in '98.
Yeah, I want to see an upset. I think I've made that very clear. Like, I'm cool with not seeing U.S. or Canada win if that means I get to see, like, Czechia or Germany go crazy. I think there's just so much talent, and, there's a reason there's so much parity in the league. It's because there's so much talent internationally, and it's just such a shame Russia's not on this, because I think Russia might run away with the tournament if they were in it.
Dude, there's 3 gold, like, 3-headed monster. Like, one of, like... Who would you start for Team Russia at the Olympics? Because their goaltending
right now,
Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, and Bobrovsky. I'd go Vasilevsky.
It's probably Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
and then I think Sorokin's there though.
That's right. There's 4. There's 4 of them.
Like I got so many good ones.
And you're gonna leave out Bobrovsky, who's won back-to-back Stanley Cups and is gonna be a Hall of Famer,
dude. And like the problem with Russia always back in the day was like it was Andrei Markov on the back end and no one. Like they have horses on the back end now. Like they have. You got Provorov and you got Sergachev and you got all these guys and Artem Zub and like.
Yeah.
They actually have a decent decor for once, and then you compare that with like Kucherov and Panarin and Kaprizov and Ovechkin and just Malkin and all these fucking demons. Like it's
comes
it's
out
a
of
shame,
retirement.
but at the end of the day, it's politics. So maybe stop being an asshole to other countries. That won't happen. But oh well. No Artem Levchinov Olympic appearance anytime soon.
Yeah, Beller. Yeah, I think it's fitting that the Hawks are the only, like they have the least amount of Olympians going to the Olympics, and that's table for Finland, and that's really it.
2030, I'd like to see that. I think they're gonna have a couple. I think
it's gonna change in 2030.
I think Vlasic might get an invite in 2030.
Yeah, let's play this game. Who do we think is going to be in the Olympics in 2030 for the Hawks? I think Spencer Knight's got. If he keeps this up, he's going to be one of the goalies in 2030.
Knight, Bedard.
No, but politics. If Sweden. Maybe Frankie.
I don't think Frankie. And Frankie takes some steps, he might make it. Levchinov, obviously, if they go down. If Belarus,
yeah.
Those
long
would be the
shot
ones
of Kancherov
right now.
If
Russia, like Kancherov might make it if he's good, but Russia's such a wild card. I don't know. I really think it'd be those 4 though. Like you look at Knight, Bedard, Vlasic, and then maybe Frundell. Like just because I think if Frundell's good, like the bottom 6 of Sweden is very reachable, and they're getting old. So the changing of the guard is going to happen with a couple of these countries pretty soon, and we might see some Blackhawks on there. Oh, and obviously Adam Guyan will be on the team in 4 years.
Yeah.
Slovakia. So there's that too.
It just makes like this 12-year gap.
Oh, and Brady Tkachuk, obviously. My bad.
Yeah, and I was gonna say we're gonna get Jason Robertson, but yeah,
he might not make it. Fuck it. Let's just have a whole team of Olympic snubs. We'll have Robertson and Bedard and who else
Cole
do we need?
Caulfield, we trade for
We'll
Louis
get
Crevier because he's
Caulfield.
got to go to Quebec.
Go get freaking Evan Bouchard. Got ourselves a fucking squad.
Well, the break for the Olympics is only a week away, so yeah, pretty soon we're gonna be able to do some official Olympic predictions. What I've been wanting to say is these last 12 years have just made me realize of not having any Olympics, all the players that could have gone to the Olympics and they've been snubbed. The number one, at least for Canada, for me, is Steven Stamkos. That guy never got to play on Team Canada. Injured, I think both 2014 he was injured. 2010, I think he was just left off because he was super young, but I think that was the season he got 50 goals. I think he tied Crosby for the Rocket Richard, but yeah, fact Steven Stamkos never got to go is a shame, and the fact we never got to see Patrick Kane with Austin Matthews, or as Canada,
that one hurts. Like I never got to see Kane with Matthews. Like 2019 would have been the time. Like that 2018 year would have been so sick because Kane was still rocking. 2 years off the heart. Matthews was heating up.
Yeah.
Pass never crossed. So Eichel too. Like I've seen Kane with Eichel at Worlds, and that's disgusting. Like that would have been awesome. Ovechkin and Kucherov, like never got to see that. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. Malkin and Kucherov, Panarin's never going to get to go to the Olympics probably.
Well, technically saw Kaprizov.
Oh yeah, but I don't think Panarin's ever going to get to go. Like
no.
Which sucks. That just sucks. We should just be grateful that we'll get to see Karlsson and Hedman together because there was a time when that was never going to happen. It's crazy. Like that's one that I'm grateful we still have a chance to see because, dude, there was a time when Sweden still got a nasty defense. Don't get me wrong, but like, dude, if there was a time where if they had Karlsson and Hedman in their prime with like Backstrom and like a young Nylander and all these guys, like Sweden. There's a reason Sweden was the silver medal last time all these teams met. And that was when they had the Sedins. So
yeah,
and it sucks they're not going to have Karlsson this year, but he'll be there in 2030. Linus Ullmark, man. Linus Ullmark's not making this Team Sweden for Wallstedt. And if I don't know if you've looked at his stats the last 15 games, I don't care if the Hawks lost to him last night. Jesper Wallstedt is falling off a cliff. So might want to trade him for a center before his value goes to the toilet. But they'll hang on to him and he'll stink, and that's all good. Because he can sell it for being the Hawks.
Who's going to trade a top 6 center for a goalie? Ottawa? Who they traded Gustafsson to in the first place? Like,
they can get Ullmark. And it's like $8 million cap hit or whatever. Just start trading Swedish goalies like it's going out of style. It'd be fun.
Like, to me, if that were to happen, I think that would have to be a three-way trade. Because I don't think any team is going to straight up trade a goalie for a top 6 center or trade their top 6 center for a goalie. Because that's what Minnesota needs and wants.
I also just thought about people who aren't going to be able to play. Like, he'd probably be there in 2030, but like, dude, this was Barkov's year to be the captain for Finland. Like, that sucks. That sucks.
Hey, he's practicing though. Well, he's probably not going to make the Olympics.
Also, like, looking back on it and looking on the year he's having, like, Alex DeBrinket's never going to be an Olympian, which is kind of crazy. Like,
yeah.
He has a legit chance to end, like, top 15 all time in goals for U.S. players, and he's not going to ever sniff an Olympics. Like, might be this generation's Phil Kessel, except Phil Kessel actually got to make the Olympics. Actually, that's a lie. It's Jason Robertson still, for the meantime.
Both. But, it's crazy that it's both.
Yeah. And then Canada, it's like Strifley's probably never going to make it, which like that does suck. But there's always a level, Besides that, like I can't like on the back end, are there really any Canadians that are like missing out?
No.
It's like Petrangelo had his time in the sun.
Yeah. Oh, he was on the 2014 team. So
I know. Yeah, like he's been great for a long time, and that's why, Alex Petrangelo is, I'd argue, one of the more underrated defensemen of that era. but maybe the
Dude,
most.
he capped. No, he didn't captain, but he was like a big part in 2 separate Stanley Cups for 2 different teams. Like, how many players have done that
Like
ever?
the modern comparison is McAvoy. Like I think I told you that. Like I just think like McAvoy's comp is what Petrangelo was in the 2010s, which is just 40, 50 points, solid minute eater, never going to
Yeah.
really be caught in a bad situation, and has a knack for a clutch goal here or there, including a Stanley Cup winner. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he get the game winner?
Yeah, in Boston. Because Marchand
Brad
can make a
Marchand.
change.
Yeah, I didn't forget that one. But yeah, that's all I got on that. Olympics are gonna be so much fun. Like I could talk about the Olympics for
Yeah.
hours.
Oh yeah, and we would trust me, we will in the upcoming week or two. But yeah, like looking at Canada, I'm lucky enough we get to see Crosby, McKinnon, and McDavid play. Even seeing Brad Marchand on
And
the team is pretty
Celebrini.
cool. Celebrini, yeah. And I still think there's a reality where Crosby could be good for 2030, and we see Bedard on that team as well. I just think Crosby's going to be playing. Like, if he's playing, if he's playing at that age, he's going to be going to the Olympics.
Canada's so fucking. It's so much bullshit. Oh no, we can't have Patrice Bergeron, so we'll just bring Macklin Celebrini now. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada's gross, but for the first time in God knows how long, they don't have an elite goaltender at the Olympics. So, well, Logan Thompson is elite, but you know what I mean.
Whether they play him,
no Carey Price,
no
Marty Brodeur.
Yeah, sure. Like I look at the 2016 World Cup. I was gonna say I look at the 2016 World Cup of hockey. Their 2 and 3 was Crawford and Holtby. Like you take either of those guys, and they would be easy number 1 for this year, for the 2026.
Oh, easily. Crawford would start for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding. Bennington would start. Ty goes to the veteran who's won less cups.
Yeah. No, Crawford wouldn't even be on the team because boo hiss, he's in our division.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. No Blackhawks. Sorry, Taves. You're not making the team. Get out of here. We need Robert Thomas. Who didn't even make the team.
Yeah, I'm surprised Robert Thomas wasn't brought along, but they want to trade him, so there's probably
Rob
a reason
Thomas
there.
Shit this year.
Has he been? I haven't taken a look at the points.
I know. Like, every time I watch the Blues, he does not look as game breaking as he has in recent years. That's all I'll say. The points are probably still there, but
like I know Kyrie's had a rough year, but
okay. So if you want a context of how bad the Blues have been this year, guess how many points Robert Thomas has. Leads the team in scoring. Guess how many points he has?
33. I already looked it up. So
terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. The whole team's terrible. Everyone regressed. But no, they'll just pick up another 35-year-old defenseman. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, if only Steve Yzerman didn't beat them
away.
If only they didn't beat Steve Yzerman beat them to the punch, they could have had Ben Sherratt for 3 years as well.
Dude, what a name! They got a guy playing this year named Hugh McKing or McGing.
Hell yeah, that's a great name. Sounds like a kid from Western Canada.
And then Alex Santori, Kaskimaki. Like, dude, these aren't real people, but that's cool. They got a Kessel playing for them. He has 3 points, 20 games. This is a sick hockey team. Jonathan Berggren, 5 points in 17 games. Good stuff.
Remember when I wanted the Hawks to draft him?
Yeah. There was a time.
Over Nicholas Beaudin. Like, yeah.
Nicholas Bumdan.
Man. I'm not even going to get into it, but that's what happens when you build your team on only good wingers, and then your centers suck, and then your defense is old and decrepit, and then your goaltending sucks. So,
facts.
We've kind of brought them up recently, but yeah, the Senators' goaltending is horrible. Like, it's so bad that the only teams that have been worse to them are the Ottawa Senators from like the past 30 years when they were an expansion team. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Doesn't help when your starting goalies had like an all-time low in terms of morale. And then, your backup that you had faith in, you're already turning on, and you got faith in a 35-year-old James Reimer. They just remind me of the 2019 Hawks so much, where it's like, yeah, their offense is there. They have goals. They have depth. And it's just like, yeah, well, they can't stop a nosebleed, though. So can't win a game if you're down 3-0 off rip and 2/3 of the time. Like, it's not a winning strategy, clearly. And I think that goes down to team structure, too. Got to imagine they're probably not playing the most structured hockey in front of the goalies, but I mean, we saw it. We saw it firsthand. The game they played against Ottawa, Bedard had a hat trick, and they, let's be honest, like at least 2 of those goals, goalie probably should stop. It's a confidence issue. They got a lot of these guys locked up. They're paid well, and missing Kachuk for 20 games definitely doesn't help. And it's they're pointing fingers all over the place, but it's just like. They have 12 players with 20 or more points. Actually, better yet, they have 17 players with 10 or more points, including Stephen Halliday, who got called up like 20 games ago. Like, if you saw their offense on paper, you would think that's a playoff team probably, or at least close.
The scoring is not the problem. It's their goaltending.
I know.
Yeah.
But, like, if you trim the points and actually play structured hockey, I think you're going to win more games. So it comes down to if these guys want their cookies or do they want to win? At least that's what I think. And Travis Green's, we're at the point in the Travis Green cycle where he's in over his head and he's going to get fired this offseason because there's too much talent on this team. Like, they have 8 players with 25 or more points. And, Kachuk's still a point a game, even though he missed 20 games. They have 10 players with 8 or more goals. Like, you should be winning more than you're losing. But your goaltending's that bad. And there's not really anything you can do about it because Olmark's locked up long-term with that no move. And I don't think you want to trade Maryland. And last time you did this, you traded Philip Gustafson. So
for
better be right about this
1-for-1.
So I don't know, man. Ottawa's not in a good spot right now. And they don't have their first-round pick this year because of, everything that happened with the NHL and the Tadanoff situation like a couple years ago. Like,
that was like 4 years ago, man.
Another reason to trade them a top 15 pick for Brady Tkachuk. We have been in this spot. We could do it the other way around for once. Like 5 years to the day. Just saying, like, and they have the pieces to move. They're deep enough. Like, I think a guy like a Ridley Gregg, or you got Pinto making $7 million next year. Like, you're gonna have to move someone. It's probably not your captain, I'd imagine. Or Stützle. You probably don't want to move Batherson. Like, I know there's guys you don't want to move, but like, you got to move someone. And you just extended Zetterlund. You just extended Pinto. I get Perron and Claude Giroux are old, but they're not going to get you a return that you're looking for. And those are guys that have taken less money. I mean, hell, you basically put Giroux to the coals to sign him for bare minimum this year. No one even talked about that, of how ugly that contract negotiation got with Claude Giroux this offseason. And like probably his last year, and he's having a very good underrated year for, probably one of the most underrated players.
That's another guy who never got to play for the Olympics, by the way.
That's another guy, dude. Had a couple 100-point seasons under his belt. Was a demon forever. Former Florida Panther. But
same with Ben
like that. That's really all I gotta say about Ottawa. I just think you got the pieces to fix this problem in the offseason. I don't think you can fix it midseason. Hope that they do. I really hope that the noise that the fan base is making about Tkachuk keeps going on, because I promise you, I'm giving up 6 and 16 for him right now. Like, it's not even funny. I'll give them both, and then they're picking the litter of like a Vanacker or Boisvert or anything of that nature. I'll even give them fucking Lardis. I don't care. I want Brady Tkachuk on Bedard's wing and Frondel's other. I don't care. Let's make it happen. Make it happen. So Ottawa, keep losing. Keep having the toxic shit happen. Keep having your owner lash out over Twitter trolls over, a rumor that definitely became real because of the lashback that it got. You don't come out and make a public statement on a rumor unless it's true. And clearly with the anger Olmark had, something was wrong there, and there's a lot of bridges being burnt right now in Ottawa. And this new owner it's
Ubergate all over again.
dude, he's like Melnick, man. He's a younger, more like he's a more in touch Melnick, but he's still just as he still wants to get his paws on his baby
Loud.
and he wants to be a part of everything. Like, dude, the best owners in the sport don't do shit. Colorado's owner is the owner of the Rams. You don't hear shit from Stan Kroenke. And you know what he does? Win. Win, win, win. Like, you should never be hearing from your fucking
Same
owner
with Bill
mid-season.
Foley in Vegas, Jeff Finnick in Tampa Bay, who I've heard nothing but good things
Washington,
of.
you never hear from Ted Leonis unless it's about their stadium. Like, that's...
I've heard a couple times, but they've won enough for like that to not be an issue.
Yeah, but it's not a toxic, like...
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
He hasn't gone out and been like, these ridiculous trolls are making things up. Like, you are feeding the fire, man. Ugh. Yeah, Ottawa just... Some things never change. It's like Groundhog Day. We're nearing the end of the season, and the Ottawa Senators are pure chaos. Like, I feel like I can look at 3 separate times that the Senators have been pure chaos since Matt Duchene. That's crazy. That's like 3 separate regimes, too. Wild. I feel bad for the fans because the talent's definitely there. Stutzel's so good. Kachuk's so good. Batherson's like finally healthy for once. Cousins has 40 points this year, man. He's been killing it. Like, the talent is there. And they have a fucking Vezina Trophy winner. Like, Omar should be the guy, in theory. And when he's healthy, they win. Like, when he's healthy, they win. It doesn't look pretty, but they win because he can save fucking 9 out of 10 pucks most nights. Dude, it's rough. It's rough. It reminds me of, like, what Edmonton was dealing with in, like, the late 2010s, except you don't have the best player in the world to compensate for that. You just have a lot more depth, but same result. The best player in the world can pull more games out of his ass.
And like the second or third best guy too.
Yeah, it's tough in Ottawa. And they're not in a position to really bottom out either because they're so good offensively. You're going to win some nights. Like, they pumped Vegas 7-1 last week. Like, they're going to – that's why they're the 2019 Hawks, because, like, the 2019 Hawks would just – they either win 8-5 or you're losing 6-2. Like, there's no in between. They're not in those 2-1 slugfests anymore. And fortunately, this year for Ottawa, that's where they're at. And it sucks because they made the playoffs last year, and it looked like they were going to take a legit step. And, you know, injuries and rumors are derailing their season, it looks like.
Also, name I did not hear at all. I think it just speaks to how underrated he is. Thomas Chabot is also very good. Like, doesn't help that you traded. Doesn't help that you traded Jake Chikrin for next to nothing. Like, that's underrated.
For Nick Jensen
trades, yeah, and like I think a 2nd round pick. And I'm also thinking of other NHL teams. You couldn't have done that. Like, anyways, but the thing I was thinking the whole time there was if Tim Stützle ever became available, he won't. I would trade everyone on the Blackhawks not named Connor Bedard. I don't even think twice about it. If Stützle's available,
I'd take a handful of players on this team in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Fuck, which is why I kind of hope
this keeps up.
Or something. Yeah.
What should have been the DeBrincat trade? Bring really great to Chicago.
Dude, and the reality is, like, they don't have a first.
It's another bad trade,
trade someone to get a pick this year. Like, that's just what's going to happen, and they have the pieces to go get a pick. And like, once again, we're Blackhawks podcast. I'll keep bringing it back to the Blackhawks. They're going to have 2 top 15 picks. Like, that's the team you go talk to. Granted, it was the last GM that had the relationship with Davidson, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't have this tire fire of a season and then not have a first-round pick. I don't think you can do that. I think that just makes it look that much worse. And the craziest part of all that is I think they're like, yeah, they're 10 points out of a wild card. They're done. Never mind. They're done. Yeah, man, they're done. That happened really quick.
The Bruins and the Habs, like, and the rest of the teams have really pulled ahead.
Everyone's hot right now, man. Bruins are 8-1-1 in their last 10. Like, Jesus. Lightning have won 8 of the last 10. Buffalo and Detroit have won 7 of the last 10. Like, that division's white hot. Montreal 5-4-1. They're the coldest team. They're winning more than they're losing. Tough hill to climb. And that's why, like, teams like the Leafs, like, they don't have any picks. They got to take a long look in the mirror and figure out how they can recoup assets.
We haven't talked about them this podcast, but they got to sell. No question.
They have to sell. I don't know what you sell to get picks, but you have to. Boston has your pick. Boston's going to get a top 10 pick this year, by the way. Hilarious.
Some things never change. Welcome back 2010 and 11.
Dude, Tynan Lawrence is going to be a Bruin playing for BU with James Higgins. Or against James Higgins. Holy shit, dude. Can we just abolish the northeast corner of America? Like, we're not missing much besides with those sports teams. We'll just leave them in Siberia.
Please leave the Blue Jays, so.
I was talking America, not.
We're
not throwing Toronto in there too. It's north of the border; they're fine.
Can we get Los Angeles while we're at it too?
I'm talking New England. Yeah, we'll take Los Angeles out instead. Double it and give it to LA.
Dinner with Jay-Z.
Dinner with Jay-Z, obviously. Priceless.
Of course. Yeah, I still think Florida's going to make the playoffs, but the more and more time goes on, and they do have 2 games in hands on the Bruins, but 6 points you got to make up there. Like, you got to keep winning. And I expect them to make some moves as well there, but man, yeah, the more this goes on and on, they're on a playoff spot, the more better I'm feeling about the Hawks maybe getting a top 15 pick.
Then they're going to trade it for Vincent Trocheck. Get excited.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can get Noah Laba in there too.
Man, who has it better than us? Noah Laba, the big acquisition of 2026. What's worse, Noah Laba or Noah Allen? Fucking crazy.
Did they go in the same draft? Did they both go in 2021? Probably.
Did they? Probably were ranked the same beforehand too. Before he went fucking 31st.
And are not ranked.
Also, Patrick Bacon's such a clown. He literally is like, most of the time my rankings are right, but they were right about Nolan Allen. No shit, asshole. Everyone had that guy as a 3rd round grade, and he went in the 1st round. You're not the only one to fucking get that pick. Oh my god!
Just don't
every one of those is a Wyatt Johnston where he said.
I was just gonna say, don't ask him about Wyatt Johnston though. Yeah,
like God, that guy's like analytics guys. Don't be so far up your own ass with your own charts. Challenge just one time. Please, I beg. Anyways, needed to add that in.
They were also the same guys who didn't like Beckett Seneca 3rd overall. I think especially when it comes to prospects, like we can't just be looking at stats.
But he had only 65 points. Who put into account that he's 6'4" and is built like a bus? Like,
and from Canada.
2030 Olympian Beckett Seneca.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, yeah, probably. So I think what I'm going to be interested to see is how close can the Hawks and Panthers 1st round picks be? Can the Hawks win enough games to get close to that pick? And can the Panthers lose enough games to get close to the Hawks? That's what I'm going to be watching for. The Hawks they're closer to a playoff spot than they are to the bottom of the like the Canucks are like shit through a straw right now. Like they have separated themselves. So the Hawks have 51 points, 53 games. Rangers 50 points, 53 games. Jets 49 points, 52 games. Flames 48 points, 52 games. St. Louis Blues 47 points, 53 games, and then the Vancouver Canucks 39 points in 53 games.
And they need to bottom out. That's the reality. And there's players on the Canucks that I would take on the Hawks in a heartbeat. Not including Pedersen. Like I would take it. I don't know. There's guys on that team that I would take easily. But that's an off-season conversation. Vancouver has been so locked into the 4th overall pick, it's not even funny. They're not getting 1st overall. There's no fucking way they get 1st overall. This is wait, never mind. There was so much movement last year. No one's moving this year. So, because that's how the NHL works. Only every other year can fucking crazy shit happen. And this year, no one's going to move. No one. Clowns. Can't believe I
Feels
have to
like
watch
it's.
Gavin McKenna be a Canuck. This is so stupid.
Don't worry, he's not going to be good
Fucking
anyways.
stupid. Oh no, he's only going to be a Ranger and get ruined. Like, which one would you rather have? Jesus. Fucking at that point, dude. Like, this is not a winnable draft. Like, so Gavin McKenna's either going to be on the Canucks, terrible. He's going to be a Ranger, not going to get developed properly. He's going to be
Dude,
a Blue. Fuck
I'd rather
that.
him on
And
the
then,
Flames at this point.
literally,
Like,
I was just going to say the same thing. Or the Jets. Like, just one of those two. I don't care.
Who in the bottom 5 would be the best for him? I would probably say the Flames, honestly.
Flames. I mean, obviously,
like,
best for
Jets
development, probably the Blues, but like,
yeah.
not the Canucks or the Rangers. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, and then after that, it's like us.
Yeah. And then the Preds, and then you're getting into the Sens, Blue Jackets, Devils.
Ethical Nashville fans has to be so pissed right now. Like, they're not going to get another top 5 pick again. Oh my God.
Hey, well, at least if they got one last year, surely they didn't pick a guy who's going to be like a second liner.
Holy shit. At least Stamkos is good this year. It's good to see him fucking bounce back.
Yeah. Good for him. But I think it was said on the Chris Johnson show, like, that's such a paradox, though, because when you were bad and Stamkos wasn't good, you wanted to move him, but now he's good and you're winning. How are you going to want to move him now? Like, yeah. It'll be interesting to watch these the next like month in terms of trade activity. Boy, I would love to be part of someday.
Dude, if they trade Ryan O'Reilly, he's gonna get a fucking haul. He got 51 points this year.
No, but they gotta treat him. No, but he's got a no movement clause, even though he doesn't. But we gotta treat him like he does. One of the most stupid things I've ever heard, and there's been a lot.
He's literally on pace for his highest point total since the Blues won the Cup, and it's just like, we can't trade him there because he wouldn't like that. Like, I get it. He doesn't want to be anywhere near Tim Hortons. It's PTSD. I completely understand. I'd want to be down.
So he can't go to Canada or the Northeast
or anywhere up north.
Yeah,
fucking stupid. Jesus. You know, and it's fine. It's like some guys get to the point in their career they don't care about winning. They want their money and they want their comfortable life, and that's fine. But don't go there complaining when shit like that hits the fan. And that's all Ryan O'Reilly does when shit hits the fan. Oh, I don't know if I like hockey anymore. Oh, you chose this. You fucking chose this. In all fairness,
it was a 2018 Saber.
I'm talking about what he was saying this year. Oh, I don't even think I can make a 6-foot pass right now. Fuck off. You chose this. And clearly you can. You're having your best year of your career at like 35. Like, I have no sympathy for these guys when they do this shit. Honestly. Like, Seth Jones, another perfect example. Oh, I fucking want to win. You knew what you were signing up for.
My brother in Christ, you made the sandwich.
Listen, to be fair, I was listening to a chick, or I think it was like Pardon My Take, they had Dylan Strome on, and I was listening to it. And like Strome said straight up, like the year they got Fleury, they thought they were going to go to the playoffs. Like that was the whole team.
I thought they were going to at least battle for a wild card spot. Like no one could have predicted the beginning of that season. Yeah,
that is fine. Yeah. That specific year, I get it. But after that, you saw the writing on the wall. You saw the fucking writing on the wall. Taves and Kane were post 30. They were never going to contend your whole 9 years here that you wanted. And then you wanted to be the captain. Oh my God. Like, cracks me up. The most mentally fragile athletes are like, yeah, I think I'm capable of being the captain. Like, and apparently they are, because look at JT Miller. So, oh man, crazy.
Whenever I think of Dylan Strome, that's like I don't think this regime would have signed him, but I'm like, how nice would it be to have Dylan Strome these last few years with him and Bedard and like bring names.
The regime didn't even tell him that he was getting resigned. That's what he said in the interview. His agent called him and was like, "Hey, you're not going to be a Blackhawk next year." Just
but then the other way around. He didn't. I think he went a couple days not being signed in free agency. Teams just chose not to sign a second line center.
He kind of explained it too in the interview because he knew he was going to be a free agent 3 days before free agency. So the reason it took a couple days is because he was gauging options. He was trying to sign with Ryan somewhere, which is funny. Like that's what he was saying in the interview. And then obviously he chose Washington. So like it wasn't because he wasn't wanted. It was because he was gauging his options because he definitely had options. So I just wanted to put that out there because like he didn't have the luxury of like, most July 1st free agents where it's like, yeah, your contract's usually locked up like the 25th and we're just waiting. You know what I mean?
We just gotta make it
I don't know. Just some perspective. But he's still Washington was the place for him. I'm glad he's got a great home there and he's clearly their best forward. So
underpaid like crazy too. Like I only think he makes $5 million.
He's also very self-aware in that interview. He's like, yeah, the expectation around me, I went after Eichel and McDavid and right before Marner. So that was always an uphill battle. And then they were joking. He's like, yeah, but you had more points than that year. And he's like, yeah, don't look at the games played. I think it was the year McDavid had like 5 points less, but in 20 less games. It's like,
oh, he had like, he was at like a 2.5 point per game pace that year.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's a good interview if you ever get it. It's like a 20-minute interview. He's actually got.
I'm probably gonna honestly. I'm probably gonna listen to it.
It's a good one. But yeah. So like, well, I don't know why we got to talking about that, but because like we're talking about whiny people on teams that don't want to win. Dylan Strome was not that. That was all I was trying to say. The only reason we got to that point is because like. In Seth's defense, they did think they were trying to win that year. But for the case of Ryan O'Reilly, like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't think he wants to be in a loud market, and that's respectable. But, like, don't complain about not winning if you don't want the noise. And Toronto's a different animal. I get that. But, like, New Jersey's the third hockey market in that area. You'd be fine.
Where do they rank
maybe he's scared of Frank
in that area? Are they even in the top 10? Yeah, Frank Fleming.
Ryan O'Reilly scared of Frank Fleming? Might have to put that out there in the ethos. Saw what he did to Jack Hughes and said, I'm out.
Now we're going to get to see Frank Fleming react to Bo Bichette and Luis Robert on the Mets.
Sure, man. I'm just ready to watch the new kids on the Sox.
They've
been checked out of Luis Robert for a couple years, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've had a sneaky good offseason. Like they got a bunch of young guys, Murakami, and then they signed Dominguez, who will probably be their closer or be one of their high leverage guys.
The Sox. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Mets. I was like, Mets have had a really good offseason, but
the
Sox have done what they needed to do, and they got that really good Japanese guy, and Montgomery hopefully hits 30 next year, which I think he definitely can, and dude, the Sox infield's gonna be so fucking gross in 2 years.
Yeah, it's
their outfield's gonna stink. Yeah, outfield they're gonna have to figure out, but the infield's gonna be gross. Like, and then this kid, the Polish kid, he's going to fit right in on the south side. This Chalowski kid that's going to go first overall next year. That'll be fun.
Oh, I didn't even know about
first
that.
Overall pick in Chicago. Well, yeah, because they won the lottery, didn't they?
I know they won the lottery. I cannot keep. I think the only one I kept up was with Skeens, and look how that's worked out.
The only reason I know is because all the Sox fans south side of Chicago, they're like, oh, this Polish guy's gonna take over the city, and I'm just like, yeah, he's kind of right. Like name like Chalowski's gonna fit right in on the south side, but like I said, infield should be a lot of fun for the Sox going forward, and hopefully they get some pitchers now. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and it really is like 3 teams that spend, and that's the Dodgers, Jays, and the Mets. Like the Dodgers are in bed with all of the big names, and then the Jays and the Mets are in the cuck chair. Then you got teams like Yankees and the Cubs that are in the hotel lobby trying to get in, and then the rest of baseball is just outside freezing. Like that's what it is.
No, the Yankees and the Cubs are the team that pays the text to girl on OnlyFans. That's what they're doing right now because they have the money. They just choose not to use it. Especially the Cubs. The Cubs not using money is actually ridiculous. Like
signing Bregman.
That was a big change. And then the Bears beat the Packers. Like crazy swing. But
the Hawks won that night too. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
I think that was the largest game. But
yes, it was the Nashville. I think they were playing Nashville. Yeah,
the Meso shutout. But yeah, it pissed me off when you like the amount of revenue that team pulls in. Like they were selling out when they were shitty at Wrigley, and you just don't put the money into the team. And this year they did, but also like you could spend almost equivalent to what the Mets and Dodgers do. You just choose not to. So I'd be mad if I was a fan of the Cubs, but I'm mad because my team spends like just a little bit better than the Athletics. So that's fun.
I will say they've done like the White Sox. I think I've had a way better than offseason than at least half like of baseball. Like I'd say they have a better offseason.
Well, they're getting smart with their money now, which is something that they
Mhm.
haven't done in the last 5 years. Like I don't know. Yeah, like you said, like they're not making dumb moves anymore just to make dumb moves. Like they're making smart moves. Maybe let's win 70 games this year. Maybe.
Yay.
Maybe.
I mean, it's the AL Central. Like that's possible.
But like we're
It's
not one of
entirely
those three
possible.
teams that switches being good. So it's like the Twins, the Tigers, and the Guardians all switch being good, and then us and the Royals are in the fucking cuck chair. So have fun. Get excited. Colson Montgomery to the moon.
The Dodgers are really like I think we were talking about this the other night. It's just any time in American Dad when like any of them are trying to get into a new hobby and trying to learn something, and it's like so many episodes, and it's
Roger,
like, oh fuck, it's Roger, isn't it? And there's another one where Roger hands a Stan like a thing, and he's like, "Am I gonna get there and you're gonna be the instructor?" And then Roger just like takes a second. Good chance.
If I put this contract in, you're not going to match it and offer more, right? Good chance.
Good chance. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough sports ball talk. We're almost at 2.5 hours.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Any closing statements? Only
not blowing more 3-goal leads for the rest of the year. How about that?
That'd be nice, honestly.
Just a quick thought, you know.
Yeah.
That's my closing thought. It's no more 3-goal leads. The quest for 30 is still well there.
You're on pace for 32, and hey, with a hot streak, maybe they get to 35. Way to go, guys! Let's shoot for 40
points.
Bang!
Oh, all right.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Google, whatever. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and notification bell so you don't miss on any new content, whether that is a podcast or clips from the show. So yeah, for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, y'all, and we will talk another time. Hopefully more soon. We'll definitely get some Olympic previews out, so watch out for that. It's going to be a fun upcoming few months, I think.